All right, people. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Okay. Welcome, everybody. This is Live Pridefully, Love and Resilience Within Pandemic. Day number 2 out of 2. I am Expo, and I'm here just to intro the show today. Just to start you guys off a nice little vibe. That's right, baby. Caribbean Equality Project, we are here. Extreme sounds, the world is rich. Yours truly, Expo, I'm here, right? So I'm gonna just get y'all in the vibes, get y'all in the mood. I got y'all for about 15 minutes. Let's see what we can do. Baby. Come on. Okay.
Never come, 'cause this is my time, I let him go, and every second's a blessing from above.
Yep.
It's like I feel
Come on.
like
Hey.
control.
Come on.
It's in ways I want to wave.
You guys like and share that live, baby. Like and share that live. Come on. We got an amazing show in store for you guys today. Ready up. Come on. Let's. Yo. Yeah. I'm just getting y'all started, man, for today's show. Live pridefully, love and resilience within pandemics. You guys rolling, man, rolling. Share this live, baby, come on.
It's like I feel like I control. It's in the ways I want to wave.
Yep.
So if you tell me I have to go, no. Wind up low, wind up so. Jump until morning, until I fall in. Soaking wet, and I'm up in every face. The sun no storm, until I fall in.
Come on. Right now, just like and share that live, baby. Come on. Caribbean Equality Project, we are here, baby. It's Pride Month, baby. Pride to live pridefully. Come on. Let's get it started. Come on.
I know it isn't easy, but you make it look so easy.
Yeah.
You don't need recommendation, you come with qualification.
I need energy, people. I need energy. All of you guys out there, I need energy. All around the world, wherever you at, whoever you are with. I need energy right now, baby. Live pridefully. Let's go. Come on. The meaning of live pridefully is make sure you're happy, baby. Just make sure you're happy. Whatever you're doing, whoever you're with, wherever you are, make sure you live pridefully, live happy. That's right, baby. Caribbean Equality Project. Extreme sounds. The world is rich. Let me tell y'all something about me. Hold on.
You see me as a man, love to play, love to jam. You see me as a man, I always happy once money in the hand.
Come on.
But I don't got no time.
Nope.
For no worries.
Nope.
I don't got no time. For no stress in my head.
How the Jamaicans say we don't deal with no bad mind people. Let's go. What we come to do?
Come out to live my life, play a mass and live my life. I'm the happiest man alive. I come out to live.
I need y'all to get involved for me. I need y'all to get involved for me. All of y'all out there, I need y'all to get involved for me. Ready up. The next song I'm gonna play, I want y'all to drop some emojis. If you are here, drop some emojis. Let us show us you here. Drop some emojis right now. Share alive, share alive, share alive, share it up, share it up. Let's go. Energy, baby, energy. Energy, baby, come on. So I want to be me. I wanna go up. I wanna get down. This feeling can't stop. So put your hands up. I said put your hands up. Yeah. Drop your flag right now. Drop your country's flag right now. What country you representing? Where are you from? Where you from right now? What country are you representing right now? Let me see some flags right now. Go.
Just show me where you're from. Let everybody know. And when you hit the road, let your waistline go. Show me just how you feel. Yeah, show me something real. This is where you wanna be.
Energy, baby. Let's go. Come on. The only
place I know until the morning light will make you feel so right. I'll show you where to go. The only place.
That's right. Let's switch it up. Switch it up. Switch it up. Hold on. Live pridefully, baby. Come on.
All my ladies shake up your bum.
Come on.
The girl them shake up your bum.
Yeah.
The girl them shake up their bum bum. You don't matter why you come.
Come on.
The way you whine and make me go down low, down low. The way you whine and make me go down low, down low. All my ladies shake up your bum bum. The girl them shake up your bum bum. The girl them shake up their bum bum. You don't matter where you come from. All my ladies, all my ladies.
I told y'all it's energy, man. Come on.
All my ladies,
come on, come on.
All my ladies.
Caribbean Equality Project, baby. For those who saw the show yesterday, oh man, we doubled up today, baby. Come on. Let's go, come on. Yesterday was day one, today is day two. You know what? Whoever you are home with right now, I need you to do me one favor. Do me one favor right now. Listen. Wherever you listening from around the world, baby. Come on. Like and share that live. Yo. If this was not pandemics, Caribbean Equality Project would have been on the road in Manhattan, New York. When you see Caribbean Equality Project for Pride Parade in Manhattan, you know how we do it? Let me tell you how we do it. When you see that big truck coming down 5th Avenue, Manhattan, baby.
Every day is Sweat I come out the sweater, better sweating more than you. Is sweat I come out the sweater, wetter sweating more than you. I come to wine and jam and I sure to catch it more than you. Cause when I'm fetting, of course,
we just do it like a.
I'm fetting morning and evening. This is my home and not leaving. I can't get over this feeling. I just want to pay myself. People let me pay a mass. I just want to wine on something. I can't let no bumper pass. Me pride in the lost and found. Watch me how I'm whining down. I all need dirty gun. And nothing can stop me now. Never let your problems get you down.
Don't worry about your problems.
Stay focused.
Just live pridefully, baby. Come on.
Because what don't kill you should make you stronger. So my problems is like steroids, boy. I get my doses from all kinds of sources.
Come on. Come on.
Know them still can't kill me now.
Let's
You
go.
see them sweep me on the
Like and share that live, baby. Like and share that live.
so as the box we don't
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Facebook, YouTube.
and every crack I see I don't see
Caribbean Equality Project, baby.
it too. I just won't stop.
I feel like.
Move any mountain, I trample any building like Hulk. Man better than monster, dismantle any structure, boy. Trample them, trample them, trample them, trample them. Rip up my shot and mash up my jeans and step on my problems. Then what we gonna do? Trample them, trample them, trample them. Kick out my problems, kick out my problems. Hey, girl, your bumper trending. Everybody talking about it. Right now you're winning. Whoa, hey, girl, your waistline trending. Everybody talking about it. You is the baddest.
Yo.
Girl, why don't go down and go down and go down? Girl, and go down and go down. Girl, why don't go down and go down and go down? Why don't go down and go down? Why don't come up and come up and come up? Why don't come up and come up? Girl, why don't come up and come up and come up? Why don't come up and come up?
Soca does give me powers.
Make me jump and fit for hours. Soca does give me
That's right, baby. Yo, truly Expo, I'm in your company, man. What up?
does fit for hours. Soca powers.
It's a wonderful feeling.
Share with others.
Come on.
All my brothers and all my sisters.
Today we're doing what?
We making we name. We party in sun or rain. We don't care what the people say. Once the music hit no pain, so much powers I
A great show in store for you guys today, man. A lot of guests is here. Come on. I'm just a warm-up, baby.
I'm phenomenal. We're phenomenal. I'm phenomenal. We're
I got the 2-minute warning there. I got the 2-minute warning ready. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hold on, just give me some time now. Hold on, you want me step down the wine now. Hold on, but there's something feeling good. And she ball, hola, 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 hola. She ball, hola, 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 hola.
On your beautiful Thursday afternoon, baby.
She ball, hola, 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 hola.
Live pridefully. Love and resilience within pandemic.
Not bad in English, not bad in Spanish, but you bad in bum bum. You bad in bum bum. When all girls take English, new position you unleash. Cause you bad in bum bum. You bad in bum bum.
I wouldn't be me if I didn't do it. I would not be me if I didn't do it, man. Let's take it to a different level right now. Let me represent my culture, baby. Y'all know how we do. We play different, baby. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to night 2 of welcome, welcome everybody to night 2 of Live Pridefully, Love and Resilience Within Pandemics. I am so excited to be your host again for the second time in a row. Apparently I did well last time that I get to be here again. I did get fired, y'all. All right. But I am so, first of all, I want to say shout out to DJ Expo for those beats in the back, as I was in the back like, shout out to DJ Expo. And also, you all just saw one of the most beautiful videos that we've done here again at the Caribbean Equality Project. As y'all know, last year we didn't get to convene in person. This year is still kind of the same, but we still wanted to give y'all a little view of what marching with the Caribbean Equality Project has been like these past few years, and we are so excited and so grateful to have been able to do that. Welcome again. My name is Colin Robinson. I use they, them pronouns, and I am your host for the evening and the policy advocate here at the Caribbean Equality Project. And me excited. Me very, very excited because tonight we are going to witness an amazing another set of performances. We're going to have storytelling, we're going to have talks, we're going to have people sharing their experiences living in the Caribbean, coming to the United States, and you all are going to get everything. And can you imagine that you're getting that for free? Which means that you can donate to the Caribbean Equality Project. I know that's right. Come on, y'all. We are the Caribbean Equality Project, and you can donate to us at Venmo and Cash App at Caribbean Equality. The Caribbean Equality Project is a 501c3 organization that has been advocating for LGBTQ voices in New York City for the past 6 years. Can you imagine that, y'all? We've been around for the past 6 years. That deserves a round of applause. I'm looking at the comments right now, and I need to see some round of applause because, quite frankly, this has been an amazing time under the leadership of Mohammed Q. Amin, our executive director. Shout outs to Mo. And so we tonight are celebrating the night of being both LGBTQ and Caribbean in a month that celebrates Caribbean American Heritage Month and Pride Month. And tonight, you all are going to see the intersections, both in storytelling, in all our performances, and I am just really excited for it. And I need to know that y'all are excited as well, so make sure I'm seeing the Holy flag. If obviously you're from Jamaica, I came prepared this time because I brought my little paraphernalias, just in case somebody wants to know where I'm from, you know? There's always this saying that Caribbean people take things where they go, and I'm one of them. All right, so yesterday, of course, we honored the lives of folks who we've lost during this pandemic, and to all of the different systemic issues that we face, and tonight is no different. We want to reserve a moment of silence for all the folks that we've lost, especially during this time and as we grieve during these moments of celebration. So here's to that moment of silence. Thank you. Just a few months ago, we had a tragic murder in our community, and it has been months since this has plagued and really traumatized members of our community, the murder of Maria Venus Raj in Trinidad, where families still do not know what has happened and still are not receiving information from the relevant authorities. Tonight at the Caribbean Equality Project, we want to honor Mariah. We want to let her know and let everyone know that we are deserving of our lives and we are deserving of the love, and we do not deserve any violence despite what folks may say. So here is a video to honor Mariah Venus Raj.
बातें हों सुबह सी रातें हों जब से मिला है तू दिल को मिला सुकून तू ही राह मेरी तू ही सफर है तेरी बाहों में अब मेरा घर है
चैन न जाने दर्द न जाने दिल तो बस दिल को पहचाने मिला जो संग तेरा उड़ा पतंग मेरा हवा में होके मलंग उड़ाई घर बार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना अब तू ही है संसार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना ये पागल सा है प्यार मेरा ओ मखना वे मखना उड़ाई घर बार मेरा ओ मखना
Mariah Venus Raj, we will call your name for as long as it takes, where we can all celebrate and live and be happy as you were in that video. Thank you. We are so excited to get started with our program, and we want to kick this off by asking you all to sit back and listen to our keynote speaker, who you heard from yesterday. You heard his story on how he grew up here, how he came into poetry, and his relationship with small acts of joy and resilience. Today, he's going to give you not only more of his journey, but also some readings that he's done. Everybody, I please welcome our keynote speaker, Rajiv Mohabir.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin with a word of gratitude for the Caribbean Equality Project and to Mohammed Amin and all of the organizers and in their tireless commitment to furthering the health and longevity of the queer Caribbean community in the city. From their 2021 COVID-19 mutual aid program to their rallying to protect queer and trans asylum seekers, this organization has been doing work to dignify and uplift those of us who find ourselves in constant struggle to be seen and heard in New York, and indeed the United States. I'm so grateful for their asking me to come and speak with you tonight. The theme for this year's benefit is Live Pridefully, Love and Resilience Within Pandemics. And to this theme tonight, I will share with you some of the questions that I find myself puzzling over as we begin to wake from the haze of languishing in lockdowns and as the vaccinations roll out, and now making it possible for us to slowly come together again and to share physical and psychic space once more. I don't have any answers to what this all means, and my realizations are those that I've learned to feel through my own body, made up of ancestral memory and muscle memory, of times that I've had my own dignity challenged in the past and what I've done to emerge from disaster with my eyes turned towards joy. As I think about survival in this time of worldwide tragedy and loss, it is not lost on me how it was BIPOC communities that faced a higher state of suffering and death due to the governments failing us again. What strength I draw from my situation, where my entire world shifted into a state of alienated remoteness, was that I could imagine the world of writing and reading, reflection and remembering the connections between all things, the connections between forced migration of people, encounters with the other, the disruption of colonization, and our current state of living past post-colonial fallout. Are these things connected? Every slightest bit of my affective reservoir, all of the pinprick hauntings of events, of every time the word anti-man or coolie have been hurled at me or my family. Those hauntings of fierce bigotry cause my hair to stand on end and answer in a resounding yes. I'm currently living outside of Boston, Massachusetts, in a town called Malden. What I present to you now is an excerpt from a journal that I kept trying to name the strands of historical and personal hauntings that informed my anxieties in March 2020. A March that feels like years ago. As I said, I have no answers, only questions that I present to you to illustrate how these traumas, side by side, have been profoundly disorganizing for me. This is from a journal that became an essay called An Area of Critical Concern. And I begin the essay with me and my partner in a car. We drove north on the US 1, deeper into Saugus, to get some groceries since Jordan started to panic that we were low on peanut butter. We'd not had real peanut butter in some time. In the market, things were slim, people crowding, severe looks bordering anger. The store imposed a limit of only 2 purchases of each item per customer. We got 2 pouches of skipjack and 2 cans of tinned fish in oil. Is this the last time I'm ever going to buy tuna or peanut butter? Is this kind of hunting gathering, as unsustainable as it is, has it finally pulled its own number? We live in a land where resources are scarce to us if we don't own the means of production. Even with the raw resources, we need America to distribute and market. What is it about trade, either by fin or by wing? It's enslavement and exploitation of the natural world that kills us, whether through zoonotic virus or by poisoning by harsh chemicals, as the government of the United States has done to indigenous people from the beginning of our country. Once upon a time, fish lived under fluorescent lighting, deboned and tinned. Flowery music piped into the room where they stay in neat pyramidal displays. My own Caribbean family survived on fish. In fact, my father's family lived on the river, my mother's by the sea. I've been craving fish and have some cumin seeds saved from my mother in my repurposed cookie tin. When I was 17, I went to Guyana for the first time. We took a boat down from Skeldon into the Quarantine River, deeper and deeper into the jungle's heart. My Aja used to trade tinned goods from Riverton to Oriala. Where he purchased these initially, with startup from selling rum and tailoring shirts, I'm not certain. He traded with people in native villages along the route, bringing a new kind of commodity, goods and scarcity like a slug trail, bringing subtler logics into the interior. When we disembarked in Oriala, up in the trees were massive cages. In these cages, scarlet macaws and blue and gold macaws to be traded north to the United States for breeding and selling screamed. The North economy devastates local communities. This is the opposite of sustainable. On our voyage back to Skeldon, our boat ran out of gas, and the boatman didn't have any oars. The night sky was bright with stars. I had never seen anything as clearly as the Milky Way that night. I wrote about it obscurely in a poem once. We drifted with the current upstream to Skeldon. From wondering about the linkages between this pandemic, the roots of our inheritance, to the very damning of a people robbed of human dignities, I have returned to the idea that survival is who we are. We suffered under legislation that has made our bodies, our desires, our unique ways of loving criminal. We come from a long line of people who endure as seeds carried from foreign to where we are today. My own Guyanese family has 4 continents in our history: Asia, South America, Europe, and North America. Yet these lessons cause me to wonder about the homophobic hauntings that have taken root in my family, causing pain and rupture. Being a queer in my family has not been an easy thing. Being told that I am an abomination and deserve to be shunned has deeply affected the core of me. The time I was attacked in Union Square also haunts me. The pain is evident in the homophobia of our community here as well. This bigotry once hurt a friend dear to me, Zaman Amin. The next poem that I'm going to read for you is called Indo-Queer 4. It's dedicated to Sundari, the Indian goddess. The first time I saw Sundari perform was at the Rajkumari Cultural Center, and it was amazing to see a queer person perform in a public cultural space. And this talks a little bit about that instance for me and what was going on in my own familial life. And this kind of poem is called a chutney poem, and it's based off of the Sundar Popo song Kaise Bani. Most people think it's by Babla and Kanchan. It's by Sundar Popo. And once upon a time, all of these poems were singable to that song. And one of the things is, the chorus will be in Hindi, in Caribbean, in Guyanese Hindi, actually. And at the very end of the poem, I will read the translation. Indo-Queer 4, for Sundari, the Indian goddess. दूध रहे दूध और पानी रहे पानी, उड़त पक्षी के रंग कौन देख सकेला. Hear your aji talk, beta you not get sense? Hear your nani say, chach, ya hergi yuwak? When the elders gather, they will all clap their hands. They will beg for your rainbowed silks to wave and wave. I've seen it in Queens, at the Rajkumari Cultural Center, in curls, in kajal, in a lehenga. You dance walk to buskers' beats down Liberty, the A train and the E, to rum and coke and your wine, with 5 countries in your migration story. You still not get shame. Your father rum-stoned snores, though your mother cries for 2 years straight after she finds another man's underwear in your laundry. Milk remains milk. Water, water. Who can make out the flying bird's colors? And as you can see, their spark was not tamped down, but raged on through the fiercest of activism. When I left New York City to pursue my PhD in Honolulu, the last thing that I did in the city was to attend the rally, to bring attention and to seek justice for this attack in Richmond Hill. What moved me was to see the endurance of Sundari, who performed with a vigor that bore testament to radical, queer, paradigm-shattering joy. I was moved by all of the people who came out to show support for our sibling. She has been a source of inspiration for me as she dances in public with a ferocity that won't be quelled, with a face that won't be ignored. In fact, for me, Sundari represents the opposite of the silencing hand of the cisgender heteropatriarchy. And I think of how much I admire her for her strength, and just how her truth serves as a torch to light small fires for us along the dark road of ignorance and deadly violences that we encounter. The next poem that I'll read for you is called Indo-Queer 2, and I've read them kind of out of order. I started with 4, and I'm moving down to 2. And this is also a chutney poem, but this is about the actual event that happened to Zaman. Doma gir gayal, Mubarak sab bakra fag ke, fir bhi krabdag marela de gadiyan pe. What kind of auntie man staggers from the straight man's blows? The auntie asks. The bad kind in cutoffs who dance wildness with, as children watch? Or the good ones who regret their sins? What of the kind curbside, gushing blood from the head? See those pavement stains, blots of cinnabar and wine? Read the Abir as Vedas or tea leaves, sanguine crimes morphing as they ride mouth to mouth, until stories catch fire and fall inside the cane. He went down on the street before the bar with rainbow flags for eyes. Boys, before you come out in heels, open your blinds. Thirsty spirits of hate-spiced rum traipse Liberty Ave and Jamaica. Doma fell. Congrats to all of the white fags. But still, crab dogs are beaten in the streets. The idea of resilience can be damaging to many. We are not supposed to endure. Its costs drain us emotionally and psychically and scar us in ways that we will have to process for our lifetimes, if we are privileged enough to find moments of respite and community. As a queer, I have lived through being cast out of my family, of losing my kin that I suffered greatly from. It felt as though I lost my clan and kin, as though I lost the only way I knew how to be in the world. I felt alone and fractured and did not, in fact, feel resilient. I write about this more fully in my memoir, and about how I survived after the trauma of being cast out for what my family called me, and being an anti-man. I say this word and I know its violence. I hear its shriek, and it still makes my stomach turn. I hear it also as a question, a word that I can fully embrace to show a queerness that comes from Guyana, that has traveled across into Britishness, that has lived in the United States and in fact points to a queerness that allows for complexities, the concavities and convexities of our migration stories and ethnic heritages. Can I reclaim this word and marvel at the fact that it means that I am categorically against men or man? Can I be so brazen as to say that this word predicted that I myself would turn against the cisgender heteropatriarchy by being anti-man? I remember that telling my Aji about the deepest part of myself, my love of another man, felt so outside of the realm of possibility that I would rather die than to admit to her that there was a cock in the fowl house. I imagined a world where I would be safe from the truth, that I could have a split life where there was an outside Rajiv and an inside Rajiv, as though I could only ever be half a person at any one time, the other half of me hiding in shadow. In editing and rewriting this memoir in the time of the pandemic, I was able to see my story in a different perspective, from a glance where I already knew the outcome, that my Aji would have a reaction completely different from what I imagined. Her exact words, "Now worry, beta. You can't stop river from run."
Thank you. Okay. Sorry about that. 6 years ago in Richmond Hill, 8 years ago in Richmond Hill, Zaman was attacked by people who harbor hatred, as Rajiv said, who whose homophobic haunting were thirsty. And in response to that, community came, community protested, community highlighted this brutal and horrific attack. And from that came the Caribbean Equality Project. And 6 years in the Caribbean Equality Project's launching, we are grateful to see international dancer Zaman, period. That's the first part. And Sundari, the Indian goddess, still here, still making moves, still ensuring that she is expressing herself and performing with all that there is and colliding all of her identities into that one space. And for that, Sundari, the Indian goddess, international dancer Zaman, thank you. Because of you, young people are looking and young people are saying that they can do this too. Because of you, young people will also collide their experiences. And so, me talk about Sundari like say, them not go perform for Uno. And but before she comes on, I just have to say thank you. I'm constantly in awe and inspired by the work of Sundari, the Indian goddess, and international dancer Zaman. And y'all are going to be too in a hot second. Because right now, we're going to have a performance by Sundari, the Indian goddess, and international dancer Zaman. Are y'all ready?
Some people try to pick out your flaws. They tripping you till you fall, but they not living right at all. Lord, some people, fix their mind to confuse you, take advantage and abuse you, but hold strong.
Not today, Satan. Not today.
You're being arrogant. I said what I say. You're being arrogant. I said what I say.
चाहती हूँ मैं
जल्दी है क्या?
ऐसे जिया चाहती हूँ मैं
जल्दी है क्या?
ऐसे जिया
क्यों भला? Don't care how they feel. Nobody can change me. Let's go. See me in my costume and I'm winding down on the corner. People see me getting on and make a call to my father. But if you think this is a dream, this is for real. I on a roll. I want them to see it's part of my soul. I'm just being me. Anyway, that we go, you feel no. I'm moving away with me, father.
No, sir, me never tell you so that good. As a matter of fact, that no good, that great. That great. Girl, Sundari the Indian goddess, international dancers, a man. I don't look at somebody behind table, you know. I don't look at somebody behind one table, you know. Otherwise, family. And you know, it's also really important to not just see the beautiful work that Sundari has done and international dancers Aman has done, but also the influence that has led to the amazing work that the Caribbean Equality Project has done. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of CEP's accomplishments just for y'all right now, because honestly, I feel like I don't know. I want to know why. I want you all also to get out the little Venmo and the Cash App, because you know, this amazing work that we've been doing could not have been done without the funding from community organizers, residents, people like y'all. Thank you so much. We're going to get into some of this because the Caribbean Equality Project has convened over 150 community members for the fifth anniversary of Love, Living Our Values Equally, an annual celebration of queer Caribbean love and liberation through performing arts, migrant storytelling, and panel discussions. Our fifth annual benefit at the Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning featured award-winning Jamaican authoress, poet, good gal, and public speaker Stacey and Shane as our keynote, music by Naj, trans advocate Sai Ali, and powerful cultural performances by Rajiv Singh, Jalissa Eras, Sundari the good gal Indian goddess, and Detox Bustier. We have distributed $40,000 in COVID-19 emergency relief to over 200 plus Caribbean LGBTQ immigrant excluded workers, many of whom are black and brown, trans women, and undocumented asylum seekers who did not qualify for the little stimulus check. We have raised over $6,000 for Candice McEwen, a black trans activist who lost her home in Guyana due to a fire. The Caribbean Equality Project has organized 8 culturally responsive pop-up food pantries, which served 5,500 immigrant families and LGBTQ people with free groceries, essentials, and PPE in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, food insecurity, and financial crisis, and by collaborating with our community partners. We've marched in various Black Lives Matter protests to denounce police brutality against black bodies, including the murders of black trans women. From the Brooklyn Liberation March to the 2nd annual Queer Liberation March and the 57th annual March on Washington in DC, we've raised visibility for Caribbean LGBTQ voices in this intersectional fight for collective freedom and equity. The Caribbean Equality Project has also organized multiple 2020 census educational campaigns, virtual forums, and street outreach events, reaching thousands of households in Queens and Brooklyn. Conducted 2020 voter outreach and civic engagement to 12,500 voters through phone and text banking and digital education and social media. The Caribbean Equality Project has hosted 16 virtual sessions of our inaugural initiative, Unchained, the Caribbean LGBTQ Immigrant Support Group, creating a global space for over 350 queer, trans, and non-binary community members to heal, be in community, and build networks of support and resiliency during a period of unprecedented isolation, including the Black Lives Matter uprising and a contentious election year. The Caribbean Equality Project has provided free telemental health services through our Healing Justice program to 65 emergency COVID-19 relief fund recipients and community members. We've trained and expanded our organization's organizing capacity to 13 diverse and powerful change makers through our three-day intensive 2020 Leadership Summit. We've hosted multiple virtual Pride events in partnerships with Caribbean regional partners to amplify visibility during a global pandemic, including participation in the historic first global Black Gay Pride. Our leaders, Ryan Prasadi and Mohammed Kuamin, have curated stories of 22 Caribbean drag queens, kings, and gender fluid artists from the United States, Canada, Guyana, and Trinidad and Tobago. You may read more about this piece at gaycitynews.com. The Caribbean Equality Project has co-hosted 2 virtual forums to commemorate World AIDS Day 2020, creating a space to remember and honor all those we've lost to HIV/AIDS. Organized 3 holiday food and essential distributions, serving over 1,600 Caribbean immigrant families and LGBTQ people with cultural responsive groceries, sexual health and menstrual products, PPEs, hygiene care packages, toys, children's book codes, and free COVID testing and resources in Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx, where the majority of our populations reside. The Caribbean Equality Project has scripted, directed, and created our own culturally competent 2020 census infomercial, highlighting Caribbean voices throughout New York City. Produced by Mohammed Q-Amin and The World is Rich Productions, Caribbeans Count was a historic census digital ad which encompassed a racially and ethnically diverse view of New York City's Caribbean immigrant neighborhoods and local businesses through the lens of queer, trans, TGNC, and allies, reaching over 8,000 views on social media. And let me tell y'all something, in the past 6 years, that's just one little tops. Just one little tops of all the amazing work that the Caribbean has done. One little tops. Say it with me. Tops. All the work the Caribbean Equality Project has done. Y'all are typing it in the chat. I see it. Come on now. Give me one more time. Just a little tops of all the work the Caribbean Equality Project has done. And you can find out more on our website, on our social media. Once you share this, you can share it with all the folks that you may need to share this with. But we are really excited, y'all, for the amazing work that we are going to do in the next 6 years, 10, 20, 15. We're here for a minute. Let's just establish that. All right, well, I'm done talking because I feel like I've been talking for a minute. I want to get up, dance, and move up my body. So we are going to invite one of our next performer, Damian Anthony, who's going to produce Make Don't Stop. Move, Don't Stop. Everybody, please welcome Damian Anthony.
3, 4.
Nobody now move. If you move, don't stop. Move and move and move, don't stop. Move and move, don't stop. Move and move and move, don't stop. Hands by your knees and tick your back. Move and move and move, don't stop. Move and move and move, don't stop. Move and move and move, don't stop. Hands by your knees and tick your back. When you're on the dance floor, you know that my eyes, them I look and I check out your back. So you wind down, I never want to stop. Just look past me, let me chat to your back. Chat to your back? Me mean putting on my face. When you back it up, calm, you go on me a taste. Wind up your body, girl, move to the base. Since we know you look good, girl, come to my place. Move and move and move, don't stop. Move and move and move, don't stop. Move and move and move, don't stop. Hands by your knees and tick your back. Move and move and move, don't stop. where she run. Action on the game, I pretty face and back character.
Y no vas a parar, sacar mi cadera, va a poner tu cuerpo a brincar. Yo déjalo para acá, boca mi boca, bailando lo sensual. Y no vas a parar, sacar mi cadera, va a poner tu cuerpo a brincar. Yo déjalo para acá, boca mi boca, bailando lo sensual. Me explico lo que tengo yo aquí, papi. Este melecón demasiado juicy. El momento que tú pongas tus manos aquí, encarcelando a mí, y no vas a querer salir. Esa chelita te gusta, cómete otra fruta, no lo pienses tanto, disfruta. Es amor de Jamaica con Latinoamérica, va a poner tu cuerpo a brincar. Y no vas a parar, agarra mi cadera y pon mi pompo a brincar. Yo te jalo para acá, tu boca en mi boca, bailando lo sensual. Esa chelita te gusta, cómete otra fruta, no lo pienses tanto y disfruta. Es amor de Jamaica con Latinoamérica, va a poner tu cuerpo a brincar.
Don't stop, move. Hey, nobody not have to tell me twice for me if you don't move and not stop, you know. Nobody not have to tell me twice. Damien Anthony. Also, thank you to the Queen's Museum for allowing us to film that amazing video. Did y'all see effects? Can you? Hello, effects. Okay, thank you. That was an amazing performance. Thank you so much, Damien Anthony. Y'all, it is time that we're going to hear a little bit more storytelling. Are you ready for this? This amazing individual has literally changed laws and has changed lives, okay? Are we ready for her? And she's going to talk a little bit about her experience growing up and living in Guyana and coming to the United States and everything that comes with that experience. Everybody, here is Twinkle Aria Paul.
My name is Twinkle Aria Paul. I am the policy advocate at the Caribbean Equality Project and a technical advisor for Ghana Trans United, my home country, a black trans woman, and a person living in New York City from Guyana. My journey accepting all my intersectional identities while navigating life in Guyana was hard. Growing up in a family that was pretty much transphobic, a family that didn't like my mother because of her skin color. They didn't like my lips because it was too black for them. Growing up a little more, I started realizing it was this big talk and this idea that if I'm different, I have to be thrown out of the home. I was 15, going to 16 years when my family threw me out. And I remember this because they had wanted to punish me and send me to the juvenile detention center for boys. And they realized by the time all the paperwork done and get the process over, I would have turned 16, and that's the age that boys usually come out back from the juvenile detention center in Guyana. After being kicked out of my home, thankfully, I found a home and a family that I love and appreciate today. A trans mother from Guyana who was very influential. She took me in, she modeled me, she supported me through my journey, and she always wanted the best for me and my community.
My name is Paul. I'm from Breeding Hope on the west coast of the Demerara. I am a proud trans woman and a trans mother too, proud to be. I am the vice chair of a trans group, Proud to be Trans, Region 3, where I work to support young trans people in having family in their lives. So Twinkle and I, we're neighbors. She was growing up very small in a large family setting. I could have seen all of the mistreatment, all that she was going through, and many times she confided in me about what is happening and I would always encourage her that because of the age, you cannot leave your family home because there are certain age consensual things that will have to happen. If I should accept you in my home and you're just 15, they can call the police, they can call the cop. So when she got to the age of 16, I said, well, now you're ready. We can go together and you can move in by me. And she moved in. She bring a lot of joy to the home. She's transit. Since she came, she transit. And she's lived her life like metamorphosis. She just bloomed into this beautiful person. I must let you know the day resonates with me every day. It was the 1st of May in 2018 when she left. Unfortunately, I could not have been at home to see she packing to go to America. When I came home, her room was empty. And I cried like for hours because I don't know where she was going. She don't know where she was going. But then everyone, a lot of neighbors come and they comfort me and they said, you're going to see her. She's going to be on Facebook. She's going to be on WhatsApp. So then, like the next morning, she was like, I reach, I'm safe, I'm happy, I'm loving here. And all the tears just went away. And then we started to communicate. So all my communication was her, please make us proud. Please go out there. Don't forget where you come from. We know you're going to have new friends when you get to America, but just remember, you came with a mission. You got to succeed. You got to aspire. You got to motivate. You have to be a role model. And we encourage her every day when we call what you do, what you eat, how is school, you slept. Every day we would check in and make sure that those things were in place. You do your laundry, you do your bills. And so even though that she was here now in America, we were in constant communication. There was not like a day pass. If a day passed and we didn't communicate, the next day we'll have to catch up. So it was hard, but now we enjoy. And as I can safely say, even though that she's in America, I would not demand things. I would not ask her things. I would be the last because I always say that America is a different place from Guyana, far different. It's a lot of, you have to have a lot of stamina. You have to have a lot of guts. There's so much of things that she went in before she could have get her documentations and things to go in place. She could have become frustrated and go on another train or another path, but she stayed focused, and today I'm so happy for her success. Twinkle, I just want to let you know is that I'm so proud of you, is that you're on a journey, and the journey, it has just begun because there are different heights now. You're climbing different mountains or higher mountains. I just want to let you know that I'm proud of you. I'm going to support you through whatever you do. I'll always be to support you, and I want you to excel in every way and make me proud, make your community in New York proud, and also your community in Guyana, which you still have a very close relationship with.
I love you.
Oh, no, see that? That did nice. That did real nice. Oh, that did real nice. Y'all, it is so heartwarming and amazing to see family and to see kin together. So thank you, Twinkle Paul and Rare Paul, for giving us your story and your experiences and sharing it with the world and allowing us to share it with the world, because that is exactly what is there. The love is there, and we are so excited and happy that, you know, we can see the love and folks can know that, you know, no matter what, there is a group out there, there is a community out there that's going to love on everybody. So thank you, Twinkle, thank you, Rare, both. And I just want to say, I marched with Rare a few weeks ago at the Brooklyn Liberation March, and that was an honor getting to meet her, because truly it's always great to see a mother figure doing what she needs to do, period. So thank you. Next up, we have another performance for y'all. Yep. Everybody, we are going to enjoy an amazing Afro drumming celebratory performance by Lamont Joseph, Michael the Panist. But I don't never know what panist mean. Watch. We're not going to see. We're not going to see. Better you never know. Watch. And Soca Warrior J. Everybody, please enjoy this amazing video. Ready?
When we reach, can I ask you for your thoughts and prayers with a moment of commitment to the past hurt you felt and dealt out? If we reach, the music and cries that no one will feel on this earth will be the sound of countless no's drowning out before you walk home in the morning. The getaways don't tell, they see us. And not in this house, will not echo in the distance on your walk home. We reach. It is a choice to you, but an identity to her. An existence to him, and a theory to your aunties, and an abomination to your uncles. The father's silence, and the mother's walk away. And the no answer to a sister or brother at the sight of bloodline in open air. We reach, and it crawls through your thoughts and dreams under the idea that if I don't approve it, it does not exist. It is not my son, my daughter, my sister, my cousin, my friend, and definitely not my lover, or my mother, or my father. In the house of organized spiritual and religious understanding, serving some the contracts of obedience to the masses of freed prisoners of the past. We reach the stones that were thrown, the ropes that hung, the feet that ran, the crowd that came and heard the last breath of freedom from the human form, and looked around in dead silence to scream to another to suffer the fear of human freedom from ignorance, hate, oppression, discrimination, and fear of the unknown human that does not exist in the happiness of the payment for the moral contract. But we are here. You are here. She is here. He is here. They are here. All of we and we family is here. White is here. Asian is here. Latin is here. Indian is here. Native American is here. Colored, all under the acceptance of the masses, you say hello, good morning, good day, and good night, and invite them into your thoughts of subconscious happiness and agreements to your moral contracts with no knowledge or disagreement that lesbians, reach. Gays, reach. Trans, reach. Bisexuals, reach. Queer, reach. Now allow yourself to reach.
Wow, thank you so much, Michael. So, just like what Kadeem said, me nobody know what panis is either, but me to tell you something today. This live tonight is educational, because me learned something today. All right? All right. So I know you guys have been seeing Kadeem for the last 2 nights now, and now he's going to switch it up and bring you something a little bit different. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our moderator for the panel that's coming up. This is Kadeem, who goes by they and them pronouns, and they are a Black, queer, non-binary writer and educator. They are the policy advocate for the Caribbean Equality Project and the co-host of the Queer Caribbean podcast called Stush Bush, and the co-manager of Caribbeans, and the Caribbeans, Caribbeans. Listen to their story.
Hello, my name is Kadeem. I use they, them pronouns. I am a policy advocate here at the Caribbean Equality Project. I'm a medium-skinned person with long black and blue hair and a burgundy turtleneck. And obviously, I'm from Jamaica. My journey into accepting all of my identities, particularly as a Jamaican person and living in a Jamaican household, has been fun, tumultuous, like a roller coaster, because I think one of the fun things are you kind of go through this process where you first think that the identities that you have don't necessarily mesh with each other, right? Like water and oil, it's not ackee and saltfish. And the journey to accepting has sort of been accepting them all simultaneously rather than one, then the other, then the other, then the other, because all of these sort of identities, they happen at the same time. And that sort of like brings about how tumultuous it is, because in one end, one feels great being Black, one feels great being queer, and at some parts, you oftentimes feel that one of those have to be compromised for another, or to make space for another, or rather to make space for the folks around you. And I think the journey into accepting all of these different identities have actually been, how do I bring all of these within me? How do I simultaneously be everything Black, queer, non-binary, Jamaican? My journey into all of these have been truly fun, and challenging, of course. You enter a Caribbean space or a Jamaican space, and you may feel as if, you have to sort of like mask it up or sort of like just do anything in order for your safety, which for many of us, we've had to do that to survive, and that is valid. It has sort of caused this, this feeling where I'm always on the defensive, right? Like whenever I'm in spaces with other queer and trans people that is not necessarily queer or trans, omnipresent, there is this thing that happens in my body where I feel a knee-jerk response to if somebody's looking a certain way, that I'm on the defensive, or I know how to respond. And it's not to say that like I'm going to fight, because that's not the case here, but to be prepared constantly genuinely is an exhausting thing. The work that I do with the Caribbean Equality Project, I am a policy advocate. So one of the things that I do is sort of conduct research on bills and legislation that our organization should support. One of the fun things that we got to work on is sex work, building out how sex work impacts queer Caribbean people and joining that larger conversation. And another thing that I do is sort of building out our education partnerships division, where we get the opportunity to go to different schools and talk to them about Gender and Sexuality 101, queer Caribbean history, and really giving young students from all over the city the opportunity to know if they are of Caribbean descent, that we exist and that we're here. To live pridefully, for me, it is giving my inner child everything that they want. I think for many of us, as we're growing up, we're trying to figure out who we are, but a lot of the times the space to figure out who we are is oftentimes pretty much rigid, constricted. And for me to live pridefully, particularly during this time, it's the opportunity to really sit with myself and ask, what is it that I want? Who is it that I want to be? Love and resilience, to me, there is something beautiful about knowing that folks before us, advocates before us, did a lot of things so that we could be here in this moment. A lot of people sacrificed a lot without even knowing my name, without even knowing that I would be here today. And that's a kind of love that will forever exist. and that's the kind of love that I want to emote as I live my life. I love the future people so much that I will do what I can do to make their lives easier, just as people before me made mine.
Oh, Detox, thank you for that introduction. Everybody, that was Detox Bustier, because they said that since it's not Leo season, I couldn't introduce myself. It's fine. I guess that's fine. But I am so grateful to have shared my story with you all. I feel so strongly about everything that I said, particularly around just knowing that there are folks who loved me enough to advocate for me, and that I need to do the same, to do so now. So I'm really excited. Another thing I'm really excited about is I'm going to be hosting an amazing panel tonight, right now, this very second. So I need you all to sit back, relax, listen to your body, as I'm going to talk with two amazing, wonderful activists, folks who have been doing wonderful work, and I'm going to introduce them in a second, but I first want to say thank you for them both to be a part of this team. DB Brown and Tanuja Rosario, thank you so much for being here. Period. I'm going to give you a little bit of introduction, and then we're going to talk a little bit about our experiences, what it means to be at the intersection of Pride and Caribbean American Heritage Month. So DB, MSW, Masters in Social Work, get it right, is an Antiguan American and lifelong resident in Brooklyn with a vested interest in addressing mental health for Caribbean LGBTQ immigrants. DB is the leader of the Pridefully campaign, which is an amazing campaign that is out right now during Pride Month. So I need you all to go to CEP after this show and sign up to be a part of this campaign to talk about what Pride means to you. She's also done work, particularly with homeless outreach throughout the entire city. DB is the co-facilitator of Unchained, our immigrant support group. Everybody, please welcome DB, they, she pronouns.
Thank you so much.
I'm excited to have you, girl. How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm here. I'm blessed and highly favored.
I know that's right. And that was me singing just now. Tanuja is a PhD candidate in sociology with an advanced certificate in feminist studies at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, period. Hello. Did y'all hear what I said? Advanced certificate. Did y'all hear what I said? Okay. She is the instructor at John Jay College in the fall and spring semesters. Yes, my alma mater. Shout out to John Jay College. And she's writing a dissertation with a focus on the transnational processes of reproductive journeys of Indo-Caribbean women. Yes, for some reason I had folks here, but you know, we're just gonna say folks. Just gonna say folks for now. Folks, period. Tanusha, welcome. I'm really excited to have you here.
So happy to be here tonight.
I know, that's right. Of course, you're gonna be with me. I'm gonna take y'all through a journey, and I want to sort of like talk a little bit about your journeys, particularly as it relates to, you know, we're here and we're celebrating Pride and Caribbean American Heritage Month, but like this is a journey in and of itself. Like everything has happened and has led to. There have been a set of series of circumstances that have happened that have brought us all on this table today. And that all has to do with our identities, how we show up in this world. And I want to sort of like start there. So can you maybe talk about and give us a story-based thing, if you want, on like what has been like a defining moment for you, particularly in your journey of becoming yourself? And we'll start with you, Tanusha.
Yeah, that's such a loaded question, but because I feel like I've had so many defining moments in my journey. Even today is a defining moment for me. And, you know, growing up in an Indo-Caribbean household, everything has been clear cut for me. It's either you're within this gender binary, there are clear gender norms and roles that my household has followed. And, you know, the moment when you step outside that boundary, it's always like, you know, I'm going to get in trouble or I'm going to feel unsafe in that moment. And so just going through that, feeling so silenced in my family, in my household, feeling so unsafe at certain moments was just, you know, a moment in and of itself. And then one defining moment for me when I completely felt like, wow, I needed to take a step back was, you know, one day I was going out, I had like my rainbow floral headband, I was ready to go outside, and, you know, my mom was like, where you going with that? And I'm like, I'm going out. And she was like, no, you're not wearing that on your head, you're not going out like that. Like, the first thing that comes to mind is like, what are the neighbors gonna say? How are they gonna see us? How are they gonna perceive us as a family? And I was struck in that moment. And then I went to grad school. That same year I went away for grad school, and I found this amazing queer community that I was able to connect with and to be with. And in that moment, I realized the power of community as I was able to talk to them for the first time ever about my experiences. I felt like I was given a voice. And in that moment, I felt like, wow, community is really important. And so I had that there while I was away at UMass Amherst, and then came back following these years later. Since community has been so important for me and such a defining moment for me, I wanted to bring that back here. And that's when I started my advocacy work here, being in the community, being on the front lines, giving voice to folks who don't have the privilege or the power to do so. And today in and of itself is such an important moment for me, because even though I've shared my stories with groups and people, this is the first time ever I'm sharing my experience publicly.
And thank you for doing that.
And it's been such an emotional day, such a liberating day, and I just want to thank you so much, Caribbean Equality Project, for giving me this moment, this time that I wanted for such a long time in my life. And it just brings me so much joy to be here and be in this community with you all today. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you for doing everything you needed to do that led up to this moment. Thank you. DB, I want to talk about your journey. What has been that defining role for you? And then I'm going to come back because you said some gems and I have some follow-ups, okay? DB.
Okay, sure. So I'm going to take you on a little journey back into the past, way, way back into time. So close your eyes, picture it. 1996. A male presenting child walks out into the concrete schoolyard. It's Power Ranger season. Power Ranger Zeo just came out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pink, yellow, green, blue, and red, respectively. Everybody wants to pick their Power Ranger. I'm number 3. I'm number 4. I'm number 5. But here comes the male presenting child wondering awkwardly, I want to be Power Ranger number 1, pink. Everybody scatters and runs. And that starts decades long worth of self-loathing and self-hating. I grew up in Brooklyn, born and raised in Crown Heights. So, Nostrand Avenue, you already know. Nostrand Avenue, you already know. But I grew up in Crown Heights, went to school there. It is still a largely Caribbean neighborhood, but then there was no gentrification. There was no white people. It was a very different dynamic. This is coming right off of the heels of the Crown Heights riots. So there is tension in the air just off rip, right? So I go in and I decided that I want to be Pink Ranger number 1. Why? Because I'm that bitch. So,
that's right.
It's like, I wanted to go and be with the boys, and I thought that was okay because, the girls in my immediate neighborhood, they're like, okay, that's cute. It wasn't cute there. And I learned the hard way that, that's not cute, and no one likes that. And this is, once again, very different time. So this is back in the 90s where, you were still, if you were gay or any type of part of the community, you were considered technically doing a legal activity. You could be fined and jailed if you were found to be gay or any type of, committing any type of homosexual acts, cross-dressing. So, and that didn't get turned over until 2001. So let's let that sink in. So this is me growing up and coming of age in a time where my very existence was illegal in this country. And being in a Caribbean neighborhood made it even worse. Being a half-breed made it even worse because
can you talk about what that means?
So definitely. So my mother is from the American South. She is from the state of Kentucky, Fayetteville County. She is a very proud Southern woman, but when she came up here, she didn't quite know or understand the culture that was up here. My father has since kind of divorced himself from the family. We'll get into that. But it's like, so she was basically trying to make sense of it herself. My grandmother, who was still living in the neighborhood, still very much so connected, was able to shield me from a bit. But after she died, there was a lot that just happened. And I was being literally abused every single day. Like, I could not go to school without getting something thrown at me, somebody hitting me, somebody punching me, a group of people jumping me. There was one time where I got jumped in the rain and I got a game of those board games, I had it broken over my back in front of my brother. So it was decades long worth of that type of abuse. And obviously, as you get older, the abuse changes. So then it became snide comments. I came out initially as gay. Why? Because I didn't have language for what I am now. So gay boy it is. And I went about my life and tried to live it authentically, but something just always felt wrong. And it wasn't until 2017 where I had this aha moment in a way that I would never forget. In 2017, in August, I was attacked in the middle of a hate crime. I got my jaw broken. And I spent 4 or 5 days in the hospital where they had to literally wire my jaw shut, drilled in the place they decided to go with a new technique that they learned, and decided to drill into my head and have about 9 different plates in my jaw to hold it in place. I couldn't really speak. I couldn't do much of anything. I couldn't really eat. I had to literally drink my food. And from there, I felt so just disparaged. It's like, okay, well, what do I want to do? What direction do I want to go? Like, who do I want to be? Because everybody kept labeling me as a man, but I didn't see myself like that. But I persevered through that feeling because I thought that if I did project that it would make sense eventually and that people will be happy and that people will leave me alone. No, that does not happen, especially when CBS is knocking on your door every other night. So yeah, it was very much so covered. So after that, I began slowly making the realization that I wasn't a boy at all. And it didn't really take until 2019 where it just kind of clicked for me, like, oh, you are not a boy at all. And you know, that's when my journey going through gender fluidity, then into my non-binary identity, which I still latch on to, but my transness didn't really resonate and take hold until the pandemic started, where I was alone in my thoughts. I was alone by myself in my living room, crying and snotting because people who are literally dying around me. And I'm like, what is it? What if I die tomorrow? Because that was a very real fear of mine, that I would just die in my sleep. And I'm like, would I be happy if I were to die right now? The answer was no. So as soon as I could, I called up as many psychiatrists and as many places I could get. I started HRT, and this is a year into it.
Wow. Wow, thank you so much, both of you, for sharing those stories. And I want to just pull two things, because I think what's interesting here is there is this coming into yourself when you were alone, when you were by yourself, you Maris, and you in isolation. Like, there has been this moment of self-reflection, but there's also this response too, right? This response to all of the different things that have led up to the moment. Your mother, you're not going out there with this rainbow thing, right? And you're experiencing everything that girl, I didn't even know that, right? I'm interested to know, like, what has been that reconciling with those experiences. What has that been like? Particularly, y'all are here sharing your story, sharing it for the world. What has it been like recognizing that, like, these are the folks who've caused harm, these are the folks I love who've caused harm. What has it been like reconciling with those experiences as you've been beginning this journey? Anybody can take it. I'm gonna start with D. I'm gonna start with D. D, you can start, girl.
Okay, give me the second in a snap, like Spark Notes it. Just give me the question real quick so I can.
Yeah. How do you reconcile, or like, what has been that process in reconciling with just all that pain, all that trauma inflicted both in your community, which I assume you love Brooklyn. You're here in Brooklyn, right? The community in which you love. What has it been like holding that love, but also holding the pain that it's caused?
So I'm gonna like take that and kind of like, you know, just pivot it a little bit. It wasn't Brooklyn that I was worried about, baby. That, like, once you born Brooklyn, you Brooklyn bred, that's it, on period. Like, you ain't moving no fucking where. I like my bacon, egg, and cheese with salt, pepper, ketchup. I don't know what this is all about Brooklyn. Come on, Crown Heights, 11225. But anyway. No. So, like, over here trying to get East New York in here. Oh my God, the ghetto.
Ma'am, the girls from East New York will come for you in this video, okay?
Okay, but baby, I'm from OG. Okay.
Period.
All right, so, but I know for a fact that it was more so my Caribbean community that I had to reconcile with. Because being queer, well, at the time, coded queer, and then having an American mother who, number one, sounds nothing like the parents that are in the neighborhood, and number two, doesn't look like anyone because she's very light skinned. She's like Tanuja's color, a little bit lighter, and and then she's so removed from the culture because it's not hers, so it doesn't make sense to her. So she won't go to these functions. She's not going to any of these things because it's not her culture. It doesn't make sense to her. So being kind of isolated in that, and then reconciling with the fact that you are Caribbean, but you're not Caribbean enough. Right? So there's a boy, so I have a theme in my life of trying to be enough for people, right? So I wanted to be, I couldn't be Caribbean enough for the people in my neighborhood and my school. I couldn't be American enough for my cousins because they would look at me like, but what are you talking about? Oxtails? You mean oxtail stew, right? No, it's like, because, you know, we don't do that right down here. Well, like, we actually do like hog maws and we do like fried chicken. So I don't know what this oxtail thing you're coming up with, but you know, this is like what I had to contend with. Like, I wasn't enough for my family. I wasn't enough. And then on top of that, I wasn't enough for my father or, you know, most adults in my family, because I was, you know, a young trans kid, not knowing what that meant yet. But all I know is that I like wearing my mom's heels, and I like wearing the skirts. I like running into my mom's closet, you know, taking my sister's clothes to her dismay, because I wanted to feel, you know, because I thought I was trying to feel a fantasy. And I'm like, you know, it's hard when you can't reconcile it because you don't have the language and no one supports you in doing it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it took years of therapy. Okay, therapy works, people.
It does.
You may cry a lot, but it works. But no, seriously, like, you know, it took years of therapy and years of me reckoning with myself, reckoning with my identity to like accept it. And I have, like, honestly, like, you know, as cheesy and as, you know, pluggy as it sounds, Caribbean Equality Project really was that place for me, because I was able to be as Caribbean as I wanted to be, but I also was allowed to be as queer, as trans as I wanted to be. I was allowed to bring my whole self here, where for so long, I had to compartmentalize myself and give people certain pieces of myself and hope that that painted the whole picture when it didn't, and it showed. So it took years to do, but like, I had to learn how to be okay with my whole self. Yeah. I had to learn to be okay with all of my identity showing up and not hiding things from people, because that really, that it shows through the actions, it shows through your demeanor, and just the honesty and the love that you have for yourself will shine through, and people can and will connect with you, but you have to be that person for yourself first.
Thank you. Also, I do want to say that, like, when you put on your mother's clothes, it do be hitting. The mother's clothes do be hitting.
Listen,
really
my mom's fur coat before she donated it away was everything.
Hello. My mother was an avid collector of lipstick. And when I tell you that I used to sneak into all of her barrels and just like take all the lipstick, it was a good time. Taduja, please, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to hop on Dee's conversation right now and just like say this feeling of not enough. I've experienced that so much. Like being an only child, being a child from an immigrant family, there's this feeling that you are never enough. Like my parents literally put all they had into me and they were like, no, you have to be this way. And so reconciling with being that only child and living up to their fullest expectations, no matter what it is, was so hard for me. And they already had this clear-cut image of, you know, what they wanted me to be. And so reconciling with that was just so hard, especially, you know, I'll tell you right now, you know, it was so much easier to get through with my mom than my dad, of just having conversations, showing her who I am, bringing her to panels, showing her videos, showing her what my life was like outside of the home, and sort of getting that opportunity to reconcile with her. But I feel like it's so much harder to do that with my dad, you know, who's coming from, also he's coming from a very strict household as well, and, you know, tough conversations with him all the time, and I'm still going through it. I'm still on this journey with him, trying to understand, and, you know, he's probably out there watching right now.
Hey, Dad, what's up?
What's going on? And, you know, it's just a lot of conversations with them.
Yeah, it is a lot of conversation, and you know, it's always really interesting to see how what that looks like, particularly in the Caribbean household, because, like, you know, conversations in our household may not necessarily be the exact same thing. You explain things. If LGBTQ 101 is the thing, we got to do LGBTQ 100. and that's difficult, right? And particularly doing that in a Caribbean context where, you know, folks' exposure to LGBTQ-ness hasn't been
much outside of the violence, then we know that like, oh, I don't want my daughter, my child to experience that. Like, that's shameful behavior. That is this. And that topic of shame, I want to get to that in a hot second, but I also want to just spend a moment because y'all are here right now in this moment. And as I said 3 times already, I'm going to say the 4th because I'm grown. There have been a set of circumstances that have brought you both to this table today. And those set of circumstances also include a lot of the work that y'all do. And I was wondering if y'all could talk about your work both with the Caribbean Equality Project and being a founding board member for the South Queens Women's March. Like, hello, can you talk a little bit about the work that you've been doing, everything about that, and how you came to give everything to all of us, please.
Yeah, so, when I came back from grad school, I wanted that community. I wanted to find that community. I wanted to find that support, that love that I had experienced that really helped me survive. And South Queens Women's March was actually founded a year before I got back, but I was always in conversation with some of the founders that, we need this space. We need to carve out our own spaces when there's no space for us. And South Queens Women's March grew out of that project where we have been doing so much work around food justice. The pandemic, we were actually founded right before the pandemic and put into this position where we had to respond to the needs of our communities. We have been partnering with the Caribbean Equality Project to address these needs in our community, food justice work, economic justice work, talking about gender-based violence that our communities have been experiencing, especially even more during the pandemic. We've been hosting those healthy relationship series workshops, disrupting those harmful gender practices in those relationships that cause us harm, makes us feel unsafe, coming up with those safety plans when we are stuck at home with our family members who don't accept us for who we are, stuck at home with our abusers, right? And we've also been doing a lot around that healing work. And that's something that has come up so much during the pandemic, is that self-care component, that healing component, and we've been doing so much around that as well. And aside from South Queens Women's March too, a lot of the interest of mine is also around reproductive health care. And I've been interviewing folks for the past year, especially folks from the LGBTQ community, of their impact with reproductive health care and their restriction and their inaccessibility of health care overall. Especially the pandemic has made it so, really well and alive that these are the disparities that we are experiencing on a daily basis. And so shedding light to their access to care. And one of the projects that I'm working on right now revolves around gaining birth control. So, going to the doctor's offices can be a harmful space for us. I've experienced harm as a queer person during those visits. And how do we disrupt that? So right now, one of my projects that I'm working on is getting legislation to pass around pharmacists prescribing contraception instead of going to those physician offices, going to those costly visits that we have to endure. And so these are just some of the things of that.
Just some of the things. Apparently just some of the things. Y'all heard everything she said. I was like, some. Just a little tops, please. DB, go ahead.
Of course, a little tops. Just a little. Just a little tops. So, for me, at Caribbean Equality Project, I am one of the co-facilitators for the Unchained program. And I've been doing so since 2019, but when the pandemic hit, everything shut down. So it was really hard for us to kind of reconcile that because we had no idea what that meant for us, what that meant for the program. We were all very confused from top up to down. We had no idea what we were doing. Trust me, we had no idea what we were doing. We were confused. Please forgive us. We were very, very, very confused.
The girls did that though.
We did, but we were confused. We had no idea what we were doing, but we did it. But in that same vein, around where we started to pick up the virtual version of Unchained, which really kind of kickstarted this whole health justice work that we're trying to get into and trying to like really finalize now, was the George Floyd murder that really just kind of like catapulted us into getting back into checking with people, like, how are you guys doing? Like, you know, we just watched somebody be suffocated for 8 minutes and 46 seconds over and over and over again. So how are we now, how are we handling, where do we go from here? So we started going out, protesting, yelling, screaming, doing what we do. But then, you know, when you burn out and when you get tired, what do you do then? How do you take care of yourself? And a lot of that could not be answered. Like, people legitimately did not have answers. So, you know, working on, like, you know, trying to give people the tools and the resources that they need, even setting up programming in our workshops specifically around certain issues so people can begin to at least start talking about it. Even if they don't, like, you know, like actually go out and do exactly as I said do, like, do your breathing exercises, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and hold. Even if they don't do that, at least it's here. It's here. And you are leaving them with those tools, and you're leaving them with at least the idea that this may have to be addressed. So, you know, over the course of the pandemic, we really beefed up that programming to now where, like, we were having it 2 weeks out of the month at one point. So, you know, it was really amazing what we did.
It is amazing what you did, girl. And as somebody who frequents Unchained, and I encourage you all, if you have access to Unchained, please do it. It's on Zoom. It's going to be on Zoom for a minute. Come through.
Back in September.
Right. Oh, thank you. But as somebody who's, you know, frequented Unchained, like, I see and I know that, like, this is a space that I can always, like, talk about my complicated relationship to everything as a queer Caribbean person. And I want to, like, maybe go there for just, like, one of my last question. You know, people are watching us right now. You know, we young. You know, we're young. We're young. And we're collectively on this journey together and by ourselves. And also, y'all are leaders in the work that y'all are doing, and people constantly are seeing y'all in the limelight, on social media. People are seeing the work that you're doing. Young people, in particular, and folks who haven't had the opportunity to, like, come out and be themselves, are seeing y'all. And I guess I'm really curious to know, like, what is that thing that you could tell them in this moment to sort of, like, get to the similar journey that you're getting on, particularly as it relates to the things that y'all talked about, dealing with shame, dealing with longing for community, dealing with, you know, navigating and negotiating your identities. What is something that you'd want folks to really take away from the journey that you're on?
Okay, so I guess I'll go first. So I have 2 different messages for both groups. So the people who are not out yet and the people who are living in their truths right now. For the people who are not out yet, it's tough. It's hard being in that position where you feel as though that you are not enough to come out, that you're not enough for your own community, and you're not enough for the people who you live with and the family that you come from and the culture that you belong to. But you are enough. You will always be enough, and you will be loved wherever it is that you go. Like, as long as it takes you, it doesn't matter how long it takes you. As long as you get to a place where you're happy with yourself, that right there is basically winning the game. For those of you who are living in your truth, keep flying, keep doing it, and keep living like you're young, white, and 21, because...
Love it.
Oh.
Because I'm young, white, and 21, didn't you know?
Heard you, sis. Heard you. Sadusha.
Yeah, I mean, this goes back to the conversation we were just having about our identities as being queer and Caribbean, right? We've always been taught that, you know, these 2 things can exist together. They can exist together.
Period.
We are Caribbean, we are queer, and these ideas that it doesn't exist together is so Western, so coming from such a privileged standpoint that really our spaces, we feel like we can't even engage in pleasure. We feel like we have no space because of this narrative. And so we can be Caribbean and queer, right? That's one. Two, you are on your own journey. And one of the things that I've realized on my own journey was that I always measured my journey in relation to other people. Like, you know, this Western idea of coming out, right? I see all these people around me, like, they're like, did you come out to your family yet? Did you say this? Did you say that? And, you know, I felt so bad about myself. I'm like, I'm not doing enough. Like, what's happening? And realizing that, you know, you are on your own journey. There is no pressure. You enjoy every moment. You live in your moment. You take all the moments in. You are on your own journey. And the other thing that I wanted to say is just, what are those moments? Think about those moments when you feel so free and liberated. And keep doing that. Keep doing those moments. Whether it's dancing, whether it's performing, whether it's being out in your community, you keep doing that and you keep doing you.
And that's on period.
Right.
Period.
And I appreciate that y'all are saying that because, you know, as our keynote speaker said, it's celebrating those small joys, right? Like, it's really bringing those together. Like, I have found that I can come into myself and find myself when I feel most lost in the minute things that I do, right? The little folk music I'm listen to, or the little this, or the little that. And it's really good to hear. And I want to just like highlight something that y'all just said, which is one, it doesn't matter how long your journey takes, and that two, you're on your own journey. Because like so many of us may feel that like, oh, well, I haven't started this yet, and like I haven't gotten this part yet, and like I don't know, I haven't been to a pride yet, or whatever the case may be. I really appreciate that y'all are, you know, sort of like validating everybody's journeys in both your time here and also just in your words. So I also want to say a big thank you to both of you for really giving people these lessons and giving people your experiences. Like, the world is literally a better place because y'all are both in it. And thank you so much for doing that.
No, thank you for having us here.
Thank you, Caribbean Equality Project. Oh my God. Oh, if you need a space, Caribbean Equality Project. Come here, carve out your space.
I'll help you.
Thank you both. Next, we're going to hear from we're going to see an amazing performance. And it's going to be a wonderful thing that I really think kind of like showcases a bit of what we're talking about here. This piece on love and companionship. And so, y'all, I want to introduce our next performance, Denise and Satwika. My bad, sorry, y'all. I said the other thing. But I want to say, please welcome our two performances, Denise and Satwika.
अंग लगा दे रे
Wow, what an amazing performance. Y'all, to see two wonderful dancers getting into an amazing piece on love, companionship, and incorporating dance, like, I'm sorry, where else do who is giving y'all the material? Like who else? Come on now. I am so happy to see that amazing piece. We are going to get into another interview that we have with an amazing person, the founder of the Blasian March. If y'all have known, these past few months have been quite contentious, and anti-blackness and anti-Asian rhetoric has particularly been pervasive during these past few months. And yet here is this next individual who's coming to share their story, to talk about what has that been like as an individual of both communities. Everybody, please give it up for Rohan.
Hello, my name is Rohan. My pronouns are they, Xia, and Ta. And I am a writer, a dancer, and an organizer here in New York City. When I first came out or realized that I was not straight, I did not want to come out to my family. I wanted to wait until I was out of the house in a place of independence, because I grew up in the suburbs of Atlanta, and being disowned in that position would be extremely difficult. My mother actually found out when I was writing application letters for college and university, and I wrote about being bisexual, and that was something she was not happy with. And she got me a therapist who was also Caribbean, but she was unaware that he had attempted gender correction therapy, I believe it's called, correction therapy, to sort of fix my sexuality, to make me straight again. That used to be a sore spot in our relationship. I did confront her about it many years later, and she was completely unaware that that had happened to me. My father and I do not have a relationship anymore. Senior year of college, he disowned me under the suspicion that I was gay, under the assumption that I was gay, even though I had never said anything to him. And that was my first attempt at suicide. But here we are. Accepting myself was and still is quite the journey. I guess in the very beginning, when I began to understand my queerness and began to understand my sexuality, it still came through a very white lens, a very white colonial understanding of sexuality, a very colonial understanding of queerness, meaning that someone of my complexion, someone of my heritage in the white mythology doesn't have that legacy of queerness, doesn't have a legacy of sexual diversity. And it took a long time for me to begin to educate myself on, what does it mean to be of African descent, to be of Filipino descent, to be of Chinese descent, to be, according to my grandmother, of Indian descent. And how does that ancestry feed into my queerness? I have experienced so much erasure as a Black Asian in so many spaces, not just in white pride spaces where I'm only read as Black, but also experiencing the anti-Black experience of erasure within Asian communities where they refuse to acknowledge my Asianness, or seeing within Black communities and how so many of them refuse to acknowledge my Asianness and accuse me of, self-hatred, or accuse me of not identifying with the Black community. I make sure that my identity is irrevocably and undeniably on display. It is, for me, wearing a shirt that says Blasian. It is wearing the Philadelphia Pride flag that has the black and brown stripes to affirm Black and brown queer folks of color. My skin, my hair, my everything as a part of me is a gift of my ancestors. It is a reflection of my heritage. My first action was really to sort of bring out spaces of education and celebration between Black and Asian communities. In October 2020, I founded my first Blasian March action. It is a Black, Asian, and Blasian solidarity movement through education and celebration of our communities. For the Blasian March, I have found that there's a beautiful array of support from trans women of color and gender expansive, gender nonconforming folks of color. And I think that comes from the fact that from the very beginning, we decided to center Black and Asian trans women. We decided to center Black and Asian women and disabled folks. And that comes from the recent wave of movement in New York City, the recent uprisings in New York City about social injustices. Recently, we had our Blasian March Pride rally. And what I really found beautiful was seeing so many different communities coming together. There were Filipino queer folk. There was an Egyptian trans woman performing. There were Black trans folks and gender nonconforming people chanting on the streets. There were so many Asian Americans also coming out too to show their solidarity with all of our communities. And I just found that incredibly beautiful. For me, to live pridefully is to live in a space where I can reject white mythology and live as I am supposed to live. It is to celebrate my heritage every single day, to acknowledge that when I honor my sexuality, I honor my ancestry.
When I become who I am honoring my ancestry. Such powerful words by you, Rohan, and thank you for the amazing work you've done, particularly highlighting living at the intersection of these all these identities, child. Thank you for the work that you've done, particularly organizing around the equity for Black and Asian folks, and really folks at large, because we've organized together, and I'm really happy to know and to see the amazing work that you're doing. We have another interview coming up for you all. We're going to keep this same energy because we're going to hear from CEP's very own Theo Brown, our public relations officer, who's going to talk about his experience growing up in the Caribbean and coming to the United States. Everybody, Theo Brown.
I am Theo Brown, the Public Relations Officer for Caribbean Equality Project, based here in New York City. My journey to accepting everything about me, everything that I am as a queer Jamaican, born and bred and raised, and everything, regarding my upbringing, it's been one of turmoil. It's been one of fear. It's been one of working towards becoming a true accepting person of myself first before anyone else could really see the true person that Theo is. Being raised by a Jamaican mother, very pious, very leaning towards Christianity, leaning on the power of God, as many Christians tend to do in many situations. It was a very strict household in terms of having Christian principles. And there were certain things that you couldn't do and certain things that you could do. That was way back in the 90s, before I even hit teenage years, before any thoughts of puberty or any development happened, where I started to align with sexuality, understanding what sexual orientation is, and really finding out that, I am attracted to the same sex, and that will be a problem for the society I was being raised in. This year will officially make 16 years I've been in this country. So my journey started in August 2005 when I came to the US as a student on a student visa. The years went by, student, did my undergraduate degrees in 3 years, double major in 3 years. I was able to graduate, use the work permit, back then it was called the OPT option, where you could graduate, have a work permit, and then from there, you'd either go back into school on a student visa, do what you needed to do in order to acquire your papers, become, maintain documented status, or figure it out. Do something to figure it out, because that's what the immigration system in this country basically does, to tell you, figure it out. And there was a period of time between 2010 and 2012 where I became undocumented because I had fallen out of student status, and I was just there in limbo. In that limbo that many immigrants find themselves, either when they come here through legal or other means. And, sometimes we do find ourselves in limbo trying to get from point A to point P, if you want to, be more expressive like that, because it's a long process. Living under the Obama administration was a blessing for me because I was able to take part in the DACA program that he had launched and spearheaded during both his terms. Working with the Caribbean Equality Project, we will do a lot of activism work, and that includes, getting the right people into offices. My journey to CEP started with me moving to New York City in fall 2013. With working with the Caribbean Equality Project, with the civic engagement aspect that we have, led by our team member, Ramdat Singh, we have launched into a space where we're advocating for more participation by our queer Caribbean voices, and showing up and having a space at the table and using that space to advocate for what we want as a community. So I went to Georgia, I was sponsored for the trip, spent a week door knocking, mostly door knocking at this point in time, because I spent the entire 2020 text banking and phone banking. So at this point in time, only physical work, masked up, gloves, whatever we had to do. We were out there door knocking, talking to folks on the ground in Georgia, especially in the key parts of the state where we needed that black and brown turnout to push the needle to the political spectrum that would benefit us the most as a community. We were successful in the end. Georgia remained blue, it flipped blue for the presidential, and it remained blue so that the control for the Senate, even though it's a razor-thin majority, is at least intact for right now. So we were successful on those fronts. Love and resilience for me looks like showing up as my true self, showing up first and foremost in an America that keeps challenging the skin color I am. And then once it challenges my blackness, it then challenges my queerness. It then challenges my immigrant status. It then challenges my educational status. It then challenges my worth and my equity and my value. Those challenges lead me to live and love pridefully, because it keeps me grounded to remember that my existence, I'm here for a reason, and whether it be to motivate somebody else by sharing my story, whether it be to speak my truth, whether it be to help with my community organizations and my advocacy avenues, to continue working as CEP's public relations officer, to make sure that the organization is out there first and foremost and just on the front lines as we always are, helping and serving our community. That's what living and loving pridefully means for me, to show up and to be the best Theo that I can be.
Thank you, Theo. What a privilege it is to hear your story. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but I played Rohan and then I played Theo. Do you realize that there's a little pattern here? Do you know what the pattern is? I wonder if y'all could tell what the pattern is. I guess I'll maybe give y'all another hint as to what this pattern is, because we have a performance coming up today. Yesterday you heard him sing Merendi. Today we are going to hear from Tomorrow, who's going to be performing with Jay Siskel. Everybody, please welcome another pattern performance. Tomorrow Brown and Jay Siskel. Please enjoy.
Ghetto gal bless it up. Ghetto gal hold it up. Ghetto gal turn it up. Ghetto gal choke it up, fuck it up, walk it up. Ghetto gal never Kenya to up, no mama On lockdown, no one come around. Feds crack down, big dog shut down. They never back down. Bill still keep flowing, big sis all your crown. Girl just bad. Yeah, she will knock you down straight from Savatown. Now that about a grown. She cool, she Irie Island girl, sweetheart. Put me in my place, tell me that she love me. Tomorrow make the best choice for your family. More see all the queen, them walk out on the one here. Big it up, win it up, fling it up, live it up. Big it up, win it up, fling it up. Live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up. Live it up, big it up, win it up. Get a girl, bless it up. Get a girl, hold it up. And get a girl, turn it up. Get a girl, twerk it up, fuck it up, work it up. Get a girl. Be me thank you a million times for sticking by me. Forever bestie, you done no luck, a brother. Oh, don't ever hesitate, whatever you need, I got ya. Oh, whatever it is, all the dreams do come through. Relax and breathe free, yeah, Queen Kenyatta. Relax and breathe free, yeah. Live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up, live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up, live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up, live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up. How dare you? It's insane of you to think a woman is lesser than a man. Tables are turning. When you know behind every good it's man, a blood clot queen is a more amazing woman. To all the mommies, hotties, sweetheart, cuties, young and old. City hard work. We see you out here performing miracles, playing different roles. So stand if you know what I mean, and break your back as you bow to your queen. Opulence as you bow to the queen. Lead on, yeah. Live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up. Live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up. Live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up. Live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up. Live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up. Live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up. Live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up. Live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up. Live it up, big it up, win it up, fling it up. Yes, this is a man's world. Oh, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or girl. So by all means, please your woman in the sheets. But more importantly, show them respect in the street. This song's about Kenyatta, my older sister who held it down. My mom was locked up. Who's your Kenyatta? Who's that woman in your life holding you down? Big her up, love her, respect her, love your Kenyatta. Get your girl, bless it up. Get your girl, hold it up. Get your girl, turn it up. Get your girl, twerk it up, fuck it up, work it up. Get your girl, love it up. Get your girl, hold it up. Get your girl, turn it up. Get your girl, twerk it up, fuck it up, work it up. Get your girl, love it up.
Bring it, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. Hello. Did y'all enjoy that performance? Because I sure did. Hello. Hello. I am so grateful for my own Kenyatta, and I hope that if this song made you think of your Kenyatta, I hope that like that person is okay, that they're doing well, that their skin clean and nice, everything. That was an amazing performance by Damaro and Jay Cisco. Did y'all hear the vocals? The good sis was like, limits that loved it. We're going to hear from, we're going to move from 7876 and 787 down to the 592. Because yesterday we saw an amazing performance by Tiffany Jade Monroe. And today we're going to hear her experience and her time being in the United States. Everybody, please give it up for Tiffany Jade Monroe.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tiffany Jade Monroe. I am a gorgeous, beautiful trans woman all the way from Guyana, South America. I'm a trans activist, and I'm also a part of the Caribbean Equality Project. Life for me growing up in Guyana was a tough one. Words can't even describe, like, being there, knowing to yourself that you are different, but the world still will perceive you as a disease. My family treated me terribly in the sense of when I first was exposed, I should say, as being a gay, it was a tough one. They rejected me, and I don't know, I just felt lost. And I felt lost to the extent of wanting to kill myself. And suicide is something that I never thought that would have came into my mind, but having not getting that love that I expected from them just made me want to let myself be free from those chains. And, you know, I told myself that, why would they do this to me? I'm the same person. I just told them, like, my preference, but I'm the same person. I came home one day and I met all of my clothes on the street. And at that point, I knew I was homeless. And I didn't know where to go and who to talk to. And I called that one aunt that I know that was supportive. And she took me in. And I just had to leave. I couldn't. And I left and I came here to the USA and I'm just living the life to the fullest, being who I want to be. So my experience seeking asylum here in the USA has been sad. When I came here, I didn't know what to do. I just knew that I feel safer. And I packed up everything and I just fled from Guyana and I came to the United States of America, the Big Apple, New York City. You know, we see the lights, we see the city, we see this, we see that, and it's not so. All things are not bright and beautiful. I was sad. I was sad because I left Guyana, which is terrible, and came to the USA. I should be happy, but yet still I'm sad because I felt incomplete. Seeking this asylum was a process. And if it was not for Caribbean Equality Project, I would not have been here to tell you all of this, to talk to everyone and let them know that Tiffany Jade Monroe stood out through this process with the help of Caribbean Equality Project. If it was not for them, trust me, I would have either been back in Guyana or, you know, other stuff might have happened to me. But I thank Muhammad especially so much always. I always thank him for everything. And I'm just happy that I'm this beautiful trans woman now. Love and resilience for me means acceptance. I've been saying it so many times, like, we can go out there, we can protest, we can do what we want to do, but yet still within our own spaces, within our own communities, besides the government, but within our own spaces and communities, we're still not accepted. We go out there and we fight. We say we love one another, we're gonna help one another, but yet we do not, especially when it comes to Black trans women. It's a stigma or a situation where so many Black trans women are being killed and we're out there fighting for Black Lives Matter, but not protecting our own Black people. And we just want to be accepted. We just want for you to protect us and do not kill us. That's all we want. We want protection, and we want the acceptance from our own communities, our own spaces. The government, yes, they aren't doing much for us, and we still need them to do more, but yet still within our own spaces. And we need that love and that support from our own spaces. And I believe that if our own spaces can show us that they will not hurt us and they will protect us, then we will have that love and resilience within the community.
Wow. Tiffany Jade Monroe, thank you so much for sharing your story. And, thank you for reminding us that literally we all can do something. We all can do better. We all can literally provide and make a safer space for our community, particularly for Black trans women and non-binary femmes here in New York City. Thank you for that reminder, Tiffany. Thank you. Y'all, that is the end of our interviews. And as we are coming into some of our final times of the night, we have a wonderful round of performances for y'all. So here's what me I got asked to do. I want to get up, stretch up on the body, and prepare for dance, because we have some amazing performances that are coming up right now as we're ending our night. And to start off with the first round of performance, we have Sean and Rajiv doing an amazing piece. Everybody, please welcome Sean and Rajiv.
ऐसे लहरा के तू रूबरू आ गई, ऐसे लहरा के तू रूबरू आ गई, धड़कने बेतहाशा तड़पने लगी, धड़कने बेतहाशा तड़पने लगी, तीर ऐसा लगा दर्द ऐसा जगा, तीर ऐसा लगा दर्द ऐसा जगा, चोट दिल पे वो खाई मजा आ गया, चोट दिल पे वो खाई, मेरे रश के कमर तूने पहली नजर, जब नजर से मिलाई मजा आ गया, जोश ही जोश में मेरी आगोश में आके तू जो समाई मजा आ गया, मेरे रश के कमर तूने पहली नजर, जब नजर से मिलाई मजा आ गया, जब नजर से मिलाई मजा आ गया। बेकरार हूँ तू भी बेकरार है, तेरा इंतजार है, तेरा इंतजार है, प्यार तो कर ले कर ले कर ले कर ले, प्यार तो कर ले करार सोनिए, आजा सोनिए, दिल मांगता है दिल 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 मांगता है दिल मांगता है दिलदार सोनिए, तू आजा सोनिए, सोनिए मेरे नाल आजा सोनिए, सोनिए वे सोनिए मेरे नाल आजा सोनिए, सोनिए वे सोनिए मेरे नाल आजा सोनिए, सोनिए वे सोनिए मेरे नाल आजा सोनिए।
hello, wanna see the end of the little love, right? The little love shape, but then do the little, oh God, that did nice. That was really nice. That was an amazing performance. Thank you so much to Sean and Rajiv. Hello, listen, y'all can only get that here. Wanna realize that? Wanna realize that, yes, I can't get it. Wanna can't get it nowhere. We have our next performer because, again, as I said yesterday, it wouldn't be a show if we didn't have an amazing drag performance. And tonight's drag performance is brought to you by King Ivy. Give it up.
Boy, I see ya looking at me. I feel your eyes on me like you gotta have me. Watching every move like it's for you. You can't help it, you attracted like a magnet. My love ain't easy. You gon' have to put in some work. You can't buy me a drink, thinking I'ma fall for your flirt. You gotta make it right. If you wanna go spend some time, you gotta raise the bar tonight. Love me, baby, treat me right. Make an eternity and not only one night. If you love me till the end of time, then I will promise you the night of your life. So now love me, baby, treat me right. And we'll be running it from morning to midnight. If you love me till the end of time, then I will promise you the night of your life. Night of your life. Could have ya if I wanted to. Down on one knee in front of me, wedding bells ringing. I could claim ya, be your savior. Wrap your heart inside of these arms and you never leave. I could have your hands tied, run my body all up on me. Boy, you'll be stuck to me if I want it with no release. I love you begging, wishing I'll give you a beat, baby, and never be the same. Love me, baby, treat me right. Make an eternity and not only one night. If you love me till the end of time, then I will promise you the night of your life. So now love me, baby, treat me right. And we'll be running it from morning to midnight. If you love me till the end of time, then I will promise you the night of your life. Night of your life. Taller than the mountain, deeper than the sea. You're boiling hot for me, babe, 100 degrees. I want you to love me like your favorite dream. Let's make tonight a reality. So now love me, baby, try. And we'll be running it from morning to night. If you love me till the end of time, I will promise you the night of your
All right, no, King Ivy, you know if we love you, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not. But to see the little boom flick what she do, the little, and then the little sexy. King Ivy. Okay. I also just want to say, King Ivy did my beat for my interview as she did other folks, and I just want to say that, like, shout outs to her because the beat was giving, okay? So amazing makeup artist and drag performer. Thank you, King Ivy. Now, following on that line, we're gonna keep this drag performance style because yesterday you all saw this amazing person host what was truly a phenomenal panel as Ryan Prasadi, and tonight she is here again. Give it up for Tifa Wine.
Y'all need to go the fuck home and practice and get it the fuck together. What was that? No. And turn on these fucking lights. They're making these fucking costumes with these kids. They don't give a shit.
Oh, girls, we're not done yet.
Yeah, what? Well, Kenny, give me some donkey brass. One more time.
A very big hole. Oh, wow.
Hello. Hi. Wasn't that an amazing performance? No, I'm sure y'all are going to end this thing and you're not going to be able to stop saying, why? Oh God, that was an amazing performance. Shout out to Toronto because that was filmed all the way in Toronto. So thank you to Tifa Wine and all the other performance here. Y'all, our final performance of the night is upon us. When I don't know who it is, but all I know, girl no good, girl great. And all I know is that the girls who are going to be performing here today, they're great, y'all. I want to welcome Detox Bustier. On here, the watch party behind me, in front of me. Honeybee and Jalen, who are going to be giving you the Jamaican trifecta. Give it up for the JDH girls.
Me no make no money for 2020. Me nah lie, me hurt bad and me really feel away. People bad mind them, claim them hate me. Why I me them envy? Cause me really feel away. I feel away, I feel away. I feel away, I really feel away. Oh, me feel away, I feel away. I feel away, I feel a blood clot way. Some gyal a owe them evil eat a meal a day. I feel away, a meal a day. I really feel away. Catch them on the floor and kneel away. I feel away, I kneel a day. But them never ever really kneel a pray. As the man give them the banana, them just a peel away. I feel away, them peel away. I really feel away. As the scalp on Instagram, I feel away. Them pick me hungry every day. I feel away. In a man car, I wheel away. Oh, I feel away. I feel away. Oh, I feel away. I feel some kind of way. I feel away. I feel away. Oh, I feel away. I feel a blood clot way. Right, that's hello. I feel away because I made them the like and yet every day my style them rely on. Watch out my life, them yellow coming like spike. Yeah, I mean them a vibe.
Sound it to them. Them want to wind them ways. Tell them forward in a ace. But the bang bang embrace, yeah.
Tell your mommy love, she get it good from she rise. But put it on so good and make she shake all she ties. Smile upon her face, me know she pleased with this eyes. Coming around to make them gyal roll out them eyes. Go down there, go down there, go down there, wine and go down there. Go down there, wine and go down there, go down there.
Wine for your good make sweat a drip off of me body, yeah. Oh, you're full of chat and you can keep up with me energy. What a epic night of it, embedded in your memory. Little bubble up and treat it like a felony.
What you gonna do when there is nobody that do it better than this reggae guy? I can do this every morning, every evening. Have you screaming straight back to sunrise. Go down there, wine and go down there. Go down there, wine and go down there. Go down there, wine and go down there. Go down there.
Stay down there, girl. Stay down there. My time to wine up. Let them know say that nobody can stop me shine. Caribbean girl, them ever clean and refine. Girl, just make them know that you are one of a kind.
I wanna do it like I pop it through the night. I saw me do it like one thing to tell the woman and get me hyper. Go down there, wine and go down there. Go down there, wine and go down there. Go down there, wine and go down there. Go down there. move
Yeah,
that.
go down, 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 down.
Move that, move that, move that, move
Yeah,
that.
go down, 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 down.
Move that, move that, move that, move
Yeah,
that.
go down, 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 down.
And we can handle the man straight up.
Yeah, go down.
The only thing wrong with that video is that I wasn't in it. That's the only thing wrong. Cause me should have been in there. Me do want to go down to, you know. Thank you all for tuning in to our time, to both our nights. This time, we're ending our time, y'all, here, and this has been a pleasure hosting this event, but also being here with the team to really commemorate being in Pride Month and being in Caribbean American Heritage Month. And I want to invite Mohammed Q. Amin to say some final closing words.
Hey, y'all. Happy Pride, my queer Caribbean siblings. Happy Pride. The past 2 months have been exhilarating, have been powerful, have been moving. We have been recording stories of our community members. We have been centering the talents of queer Caribbean people. Thank you to Rajiv Mahabir for being our keynote speaker, coming all the way to New York City just to be in community with us. Thank you to our panel tonight, Colin Robinson, Tanuja, DB Brown. Thank you to our production team, The World is Rich, Extreme Sounds, Expo. It would be remiss of me to not thank all of our performers, but I tell you, 2 nights. Can I have Detox? Where is Detox? Detox is in the building, y'all. Y'all met her earlier. And I just want to give a shout out to Detox. I just want to give a shout out to Detox, who have been such a support system throughout this entire process. Detox has not only performed for y'all tonight, but also been behind the scenes helping us with the setup. But if y'all think Detox is the only one in the building, where is international dancer Zaman? Woo! Yes, that's right. We are having a live watch party. I want to give so much love to Zaman, aka Sundari, the Indian goddess, without whom I tell you all the Caribbean Equality Project would not exist. And 8 years ago, Zaman and I and my family survived a hate crime attack in Richmond Hill, Queens, our very own little Guyana. And because of that incident, we are here today. We are able to create space like for people like Tanuja to tell her story. We're able to create space for DB Brown to reflect on the violence that they also have faced, but have been resilient and have rise above the hate that Caribbean LGBTQ people face in New York City. And this hate does not exist only in the Caribbean, it exists right here in New York City. And the work that the Caribbean Equality Project is doing is changing and transforming a world where we can all be resilient and be loved for simply existing and being who we are. I want to really call Tanuja and DB, y'all need to come here. They're here still with us enjoying this watch party. And DB Brown has been a part of our Unchained program, as you learned today. Tanuja has been a founding board member of South Queens Women's March, and we have done incredible work in partnership with South Queens Women's March to do advocacy, civic engagement, social justice, reproductive rights, food insecurity. These are all things that we have been responding to in partnership. I really also want to call up Satwika Reddy. Y'all know Satwika. Y'all saw her and Denise earlier. Satwika, where are you? Come here, please. And Satwika has been a constant ally for our community. It takes allyship. It takes allyship to do this work. And Satwika and Denise and every single member of the Tarang dance troupe have been supporting us, from our love event to simply being a part of Live Pridefully. And it would not be complete without Sean Colsom. Sean Colsom, where are you? Sean and Rajiv produced one of the moving pieces that I've ever had the pleasure of directing and being a part of. Rajiv could not be here tonight, but Sean, thank you for that piece. Thank you for living your truth. Thank you for existing. And while these folks are behind me, they're just the performers. But we have an amazing production team. Where is The World is Rich? This man right here dealt with all of my craziness for an entire month to make this production amazing. I want to give him an opportunity to talk about what this project was meant to you, being an ally to our community, but to also listen to the stories of our community.
Absolutely. So first, I just want to say a big up to Caribbean Equality Project. Everybody, big them up, big them up. Come on, let me go. And before I go into the project, I just want to say, Mo, thank you so much for not just, including me on this historical project, but for being a supporter of The World is Rich from day one, for trusting us, me and my team, David and Leanna, to bring this vision to life. Entrance City Photo, the lights man, you're there somewhere. But this project, I can't even put it into words what it meant. I'm so grateful that I'm able to use these talents to really uplift my community, to really show everybody in the world who the Caribbean people are in Little Guyana, in New York, and not just the Caribbean people, but some of our most marginalized people who deserve to be shown to the world and deserve to have their own narrative. And I'm so incredibly happy to be a part of that. So thank you so much, Mo.
Thank you, Rich. But I work with two Riches. There's two of them, and I always get them confused. One is from The World is Rich, and the other is from Extreme Sounds. Where is Richard Prasad? Richard Prasad, please, my brother, come here. So, Richard Prasad has been the Caribbean Equality Project's sound engineer since 2017. Every single march we've done in New York City has been powered by Richard Prasad. And without every single time we mash up the road, Richard have created the sounds for us to mash up the road, right? And in 2020, we couldn't march. And we said, what are we going to do? And we created virtual videos. And in 2021, we said we're going to create a virtual show. And we did that tonight and yesterday for all of you. We told our stories, we celebrated our talents, and we created a space where queer and trans Caribbean people could be celebrated, could be free, and could live in a world where we can all value them for who they are. And I really also want to thank Richard for powering all of our sounds, all of our streams, making it as flawless as possible. And Richard did that for us tonight, so thank you, Richard. No, thank you. And of course, I'm gonna close with thanking the people that funded us, right? We were funded by amazing community partners. I wanna give a big shout out to the Leonard Ritz LGBTQ Foundation, without whom this production would not have been possible. Every single one of our community members that participated in Live Pridefully will receive an honorarium for their time, for their talent, for their creativity because of the Leonard Litz Foundation. I want to thank Aperture Community Health Center, the Queens Council on the Arts, Humanities in Action, the LGBTQ Center in New York City, Jamaica Center for Performing Arts, the Queens Museum, the AIDS Health Foundation, GPIMNI. I want to thank DBGM, and of course our amazing production team, The World is Rich, Extreme Sounds, and our incredible resident DJ, DJ Expo. DJ Expo has been on the big truck for the past 3 years that we've been doing it, virtually and also in person. And you all are gonna be able to hear from him within the next 30 minutes. So share the live, enjoy DJ Expo, and if you have disposable income, support the work of the Caribbean Equality Project. Donate so we can support people like Tiffany Monroe, like Dexter McCullin, and all of the storytellers tonight. This work is not possible. It is not possible to sustain it without income, without paying our supporters, without paying our community members. And this is what sustainability looks like for grassroots organization like the Caribbean Equality Project and our partners at South Queens Women's March, who, I tell you, work so hard to create visibility for women and non-binary folks throughout South Queens. So I want to give a special shout out to Tanuja, to Aminta Kilawan, to my dear heart, Nirmala. I love you, sis. Please also support South Queens Women's March. Thank you so much for being a part of Live Pridefully, 2 nights of celebrating queer and trans Caribbean people. Continue supporting our work year-round, and we will see you next year on the road at Queens Pride, Brooklyn Pride, and Manhattan Pride. Happy Pride!
Wow! Wow! Wow, 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 wow. What an amazing, amazing 2-day show, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing, amazing 2-day show. Big shout out to the entire Caribbean Equality Project. Big shout out to The World is Rich. Big shout out to Extreme Sounds. And all those that was involved with this live stream, 2-day live stream. Yours truly, Expo. I'm here to close you guys out. And you know we got to go around the world, right? So enough long talking, man. I'm going to take you guys like this. Hold on. Right? So, you guys know we had a watch party, right? So, I'm going to do it for my watch party. I want to hear my watch party going crazy. I want to see some energy from my watch party, man. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't forget, man, like and share that live. Donate, 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 donate. Let's go, 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 go.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, come on.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze.
Happy Pride, everyone. Happy Pride, happy Pride. Let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. Switch it up. Hold on. Come on, come on, come on, go. And y'all know me, right? Y'all know I always gotta represent where I'm from and what I stand for, right? All my Caribbean people, my West Indian people, come on! Let's go, let's go! We just getting started, baby. I got y'all for half hour. Don't go nowhere, baby, come on! it moving, baby. Let's go. Come on. That's right, baby. Live pridefully. Love and resilience within pandemics. Caribbean Equality Project, come on.
This is a celebration, more like a big reunion. We don't play with illusions, one happy nation. Everybody come and dance, clap together. Let we move to the tassa. Everybody come and dance, clap together. It's GI Big Rich and Karma. Here we go.
Can you imagine hearing this in Manhattan, New York, down Fifth Avenue, baby? That's what we do. That's what we do. Caribbean Equality Project! So I don't have much time with you guys. I don't have much time with you guys. So right now, I need some energy. Let's go. Go! Energy! Go! Energy! Go! 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Happy Pride, baby! Just jump and wave and jump and wave and jump and wave and jump and wave. Let me see ya. Put 'em up, put 'em up, put 'em up, 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 up. Hi, hi! That's what I'm talking about, detox. That's what I'm talking about, detox. Go! Jump and let me see. Love and unity. One big family. Togetherness. Come on! Togetherness. Let me keep it moving. Let me keep it moving. 1, 2, 3. Because what we say? It's Happy Pride.
Everybody take a jump, up now. Start a wave, start a wave, start a wave up now. Start a wine, start a wine, start a wine up now because it's carnival. Everybody. If this ship in your ocean, show me some more fun. This ship in your ocean. Sing for me, sing for me. When the river
mad now. Yep. I want to get y'all involved. I want to get y'all people involved. Everybody at home, on the Facebook, on the YouTube. I want to get y'all involved, man. Thursday is a new Friday. Let me get y'all involved real quick. Let me get y'all involved real quick. Y'all know it. I know y'all know it. I know y'all know it.
Balancing when we on the road. Watch we balancing.
Watch we balancing. Let me go.
Yes, we totally need road. Watch we balancing. Watch we balancing.
You're truly Expo. I'm here, baby. Wow. This is what they scream on the back of that truck. When you see Caribbean Equality Project on that road. Listen, 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 listen.
Here we are, ministry, our road, more road. To build when we mash up on the road, more road. Fix up when we move into the stage, more stage. Nobody can stop me if it's locked up, charge up their money. Here we road, we have a territory. This stage right there, this stage right there, stage right there, this stage right there.
Let's build it.
Stage right there.
Energy.
This stage right there.
Energy.
This stage right there.
Energy. 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 Yup. What you say? Like CEP. Yo. Go.
Get ready. Time to show me your waves. Time to get out of line. You're born and ready for pace. Come and wind in the roadway. All in front of the gateway. All in front of the
People business place. Yep. But when you see Caribbean Equality Project, yo, when Caribbean Equality Project ready for that stage, baby.
Well. When I went up Panorama, the stage was good. I come back for the march, the stage was good. Even for kiddies carnival, the stage was nice. A paradise. It was a paradise. But when I come back on Carnival Day, and I hear the big trucks start to play, tell them burn me on.
Extreme Sounds, World is Rich, what up?
Because the stage not good again. The stage not good again. The stage not good again. After we trample for the stage.
Uh-huh.
The stage not good again.
1, 2, 3, go!
Cause we come to mash it up, shell it down and turn it over. We come to mash it up, shell it down and turn it over. Come now we mash it up, shell it down and turn it over. We come to mash it up, shell it down and turn it over. Ready for them, ready for them, ready for them, ready for them, ready for them. Tell me where's the plan? Mash up every band, mash up every band, mash up every band. Execute the
I told y'all I want energy. I told y'all I want energy, man. Y'all have a party with Expo. We say live pridefully. Stand up proud. Represent what you live for. Represent what you believe in. Don't ever turn your back. Come on. When you see the world is rich, you see extreme sounds. Let me tell you something about CEP right now.
Cause when we roll, we don't roll alone. Skinny brothers. We don't see color. Toughest world.
You know you're playing good music when they come give you a drink from the bottle. I'm moving happy with me.
Studio X Sundays. Boom blast. King. Marcel. Skinny. When we roll, we don't roll alone. Anywhere that we go, you feel it. I'm moving happy with me. With me, when we come to we mash up fat, turn up dance. We like a army. Jump it up together, mash it up together, mash it up together, wave it up together, wave it up together, jump it up together. We don't see skin, we don't see color, we see strength, we see power, we don't see race, one or the other, one see is.
Just remember, if you fight with your friend, remember this.
Well, even if we fall out, grudging we go all out. We will never watch the family, them fall and sprawl out. From everywhere we crawl out, we ready to brawl out. Fire upon our friend is family, we ball out. We jump in with we family, with we family. When we come to we mash up fat, turn up dance, we like.
Can anybody tell me the time right now?
Time to Shelly place. Shelly place. Tell her we Shelly place. Tell her we Shelly place. Time to Shelly go. Time to Shelly place. Tell her we Shelly place. Tell her we Shelly place.
Yo, right now we come to. Whenever your head it comes.
Everybody shell. Everybody shell. Everybody shell. Everybody shell. Everybody shell. People only jumping up when come shell in the place. Girl them only winding up if come shell in their face. Walking up and juking up like come shell in their waist. We don't want it slow when come shell blow his face. Tell me what you want the party start. You know you love this soccer from the bottom of your heart. Tell me what you want the party to start. You want to wash up on the stadium and the park. Right now we come to give them hell. Whenever you hear the come shell, everybody shell. Everybody shell. Everybody shell. Everybody shell. When I come here, see the shell. Happy start. Everybody shell. Everybody shell.
Y'all know Expo I play different, right? Y'all know I play different, right? One, two, three, let's go. energy, energy. 1, 2, 3, go.
Bend over, bend over, bend over. Showtime. Bend over, bend over, bend over. Showtime. Bend over, bend over, bend over. Showtime. Bend over, bend over.
Let me go, 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 go. Live pridefully, baby. 2-day live stream.
You see the party there, the party burn, party burn.
You see this live stream here?
The party lit, the party lit, the party lit, the party.
Bono, bono, bono.
The party lit, the party lit, the party lit, the party turn up, turn up, turn up, the party lit. Every girl and over, every girl and over, every girl and over, every girl versus me now. Every girl and over, every girl and over, every girl and over, every girl versus me now.
Watch a girl there. Loose can know what we tell them again.
Just hold a girl and fussy, 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 you're the who. Fussy, 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 you're the die.
Pussy, my girl, back it up. Pussy, my girl, back it up.
Bend over and show me. You don't come for long story. Who do me and hold me? Just hold make me happy like glory. Kinda do what you want. Drop the bumper to the ground. Then you stop and pick it up. Bend over and make it work. Whoa.
Fussy, 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 you're the who. Fussy, 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 you're the die.
Pussy, my girl, back it up. Pussy,
Say boy yo yo, say boy yo yo, say boy yo yo, say boy yo yo. Look the crew they just reach. Watch it when we just reach. Anytime we just reach, we mash up every time. I say every time we touch down, we just mash up the party band. Every time we touch down, we just rip up the party band. Every time we touch down, we just mash up the party band. Every time we touch down, we just rip up the party. Bad, 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 bad. Do it every time. Bad, 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 bad. We rip it every time. Bad, 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 bad. Do it every time. Bad, bad, bad. We mash up every time. I say every time we touch down, we just mash up the party band. Every time we touch down, we just rip up the party band. Every time we touch down, we just mash up the party band. Every time we touch down.
We coming to shell down that, shell down. We coming to shell down that, shell down. We coming to shell down that, shell down. We coming to shell down that, shell down. Where the Lucian pass it there, shell down that. Where the jab jab pass it there, shell down that. Put that bumper day, make the bumper la. Put that bumper day, make the bumper la. We coming to shell down that, shell down. We coming to shell down that, shell down. We coming to shell down that, shell down. We coming to shell down that, shell down.
From the time we touch the stage, the whole place in a rage. Man don't start to misbehave, girls start to walk that ways. And by your knee, girl, set up yourself and spin that bumper like windmill. Go round and round and round and round and round and round and still push back for me and let me jam it, chop chop ching rum and pure tonic. If she bamba big, don't panic, shell it down, Titanic. We ain't watching her face, let me turn up in here. Father box and more throw, come be shell out the place.
Thing I want is for the government to continue inside of it. The government to look me down in the people fat. The government to tell me that me a one more fat, yeah, yeah. I want to get wild.
Yo,
I want to get crazy.
that's right, baby.
I want to have
Caribbean Equality Project, happy Pride.
we do what we have to do, but yeah, what I want to do.
If I had one
wish, mash up the place. One more fat, can I mash up the place? I shall on the place, place. If I had one wish, mash up the place. One more fat, can I mash up the place? I it's better the place than what the place. I want to live. Move to the left, move to the left, move to the left, move down, move to the right, move to the right, move to the right, move down, run to the back, run to the back, run to the back, run down, come to the front line. Caribbean people say, we ready to vet twice a day. I
got about 10 minutes left. I got about 10 minutes left with y'all.
I want to get wild. I want to get crazy, crazy.
Yep.
I want to play a boss. I want a pretty lady. We do what we have to do, but yeah, what I want to do.
If I had one.
Mash up the place. What the fuck can I mash up the place? I shall on the place, place. If I
shout out each and everybody on the live right now, wherever you at, whatever you do with it, whoever you are with, big up to you, right? But if I keep going like that, I'm gonna have to go and get a wardrobe change because I'm drenched right now. So let me take it a little bit like this. Come on, come on, come on. Caribbean Equality Project, happy pride.
She only lover, she only friend. We make a wish, mark it with pen. I sleep and I had a dream. Wake up and I make a vow. Soon as everything complete, we saw one now.
What I do wrong
again, lad? Tell me what I do wrong again.
Come on.
People calling me name, lad.
They say I get hard again. Wow. Turn up the mic. Who know it?
When I say I'm fed up with hard, all you feel is joke I'm making. I don't want to hate on love, but sometimes I keep debating. She say she only lover, she only friend. We make a wish, now eat with pen. I sleep and I had a dream. Wake up and I make a vow. Soon as everything complete, we saw one up.
Come on.
What I do wrong again, lad?
Tell me what I do
wrong again. People calling me name, lad. They say I get hard again.
Dear promoter, you see that trust in there? You see that curtain there? We don't need your fancy stage, brother. Once a trinity rich in your vet is niceness. Why? Hands in the sky, we bring the vibes. Once we reach in your vet is niceness. Yeah, boy.
Shout out all my Caribbean people right now. All my Caribbean people right now.
They can party like rain. Once from and so can they. But for sure at Trinity, they can party like rain. Don't matter time of day, we could start it anyway. Oh gosh, Bocha, feel like you're ready, sweetest woman. The sweetest, yeah. Oh Lord, Mama, togetherness and the love, it's so strong. Oh Lord. And we don't care. This kind of energy, let it rain. Watch how every hand up in the air. Yeah. So we go turn up the place, we go mash up the place. It could be water, it could be rum, it could be any sea, everything going down.
It could be water, it could be rum, it could be any sea, everything going down. Cause the water's over me. And the bumps into the ground.
The water's over me.
Now watch the girl and wine go down on the ground like.
Let's go, come on.
We all at the ground, yeah. We all in it down, yeah. We up on the story. It's about a Juve morning. Everybody coming in. Hey, we ready to go, yeah. We gon' make them jump. We gon' make them turn up. We gon' make them wine. We gon' make them free up. It's different than Bacchanal. In this big botanical, this carnival. I want you to find your way. Everybody on stage, oh God, oh. If you're coming down from the mountain, oh God, oh. When the rhythm beats in town, see me jump.
I got a few minutes left.
You could see it already done. Wave, oh God, oh. When the people tell you they cannot wave, oh God, oh. Feel the spirit jumping in town. We coming round, yeah. It's a fire ride, it's a fire ride.
Bend do like that. Make me
see you do like that. Big bike, you ride that. Let me see you do like that. Back bend, do like that. Let me see you do like that. Big
Let's go.
you ride
Let's go.
that.
1,
Let me
2,
see you do
3. Hold on.
back bend, do like that. Let me see you do like that. Big bike, you ride that. Let me see you do like that. Back bend, do like that. Let me see you do like that. Big bike, you ride that. Let me see you do like that.
They like how it fleshy, they love how it fat. They like how it fleshy.
Y'all know the Expo remix? How it go? How my belly looking? Few more minutes. Right now, push them.
Up and up and up, up and up, up and up. When you see we, hands gonna up and up, up and up, up and up. Everybody, hands gonna up and up, up and up, up and up. When you see we, hands gonna up and up, up and up, up and up. Push them up and up and up, up and up, up and up. When you see we, hands gonna up and up, up and up, up and up. Everybody, hands gonna up and up, up and up, up and up. When you see we, hands gonna up and up, up and up, up and up.
Don't forget, man, make sure you follow Caribbean Equality Project on all platforms, all right? And definitely donate, baby.
Girl, you hot explosion. Badam, badam, dum, dum. Any man that leave you, da-dum, da-dum, dum, dum. Spotlight, let me see. Yo, your camera ready.
World is rich.
IG ready.
Extreme sound.
Snapchat ready.
Caribbean Equality.
Turn a sting face. Wind your bumper for the camera. Wind your bumper for the camera. Bend it over in the camera. In the camera. In the camera. Angle it, angle it, angle it, girl. Tilt it a bit. Angle it, angle it, angle it, girl. Tilt it a bit. No, stink, stink, stink face. Hey, stink, stink, stink waist. Hey, stink, stink, stink face. Hey, stink, stink, stink waist. There's a bad child. There's a bad child. There's a bad child. There's a bad child.
Before we get up on out of here, I just want to say thank you to each and everybody. You're truly Expo on behalf of Caribbean Equality Project, Extreme Sounds, The World is Rich. We are up on out of here. I'm going to leave y'all with one more. Peace, happy pride, one love.
With a pretty little thing, and I know that it's gonna be my day. Spreading love and it's gonna go my way. Middle of the road, and if you do a thing when the vibes start popping out, popping out, popping out. Yeah, feel it when the sun comes out, even when it brings down. Don't miss the magic. So blessed to have it. Oh, feel it when the sun comes out, even when it brings down. Don't miss the magic. No, so blessed to have it.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that was our show, our 2-day live, Live Pridefully, Love and Resilience Within the Pandemics. Thank you to all of you, and big shout out to the Caribbean Equality Project. Make sure you guys are following on all platforms. That's it. Our 2-day live is now over. Thank you very much. Peace, happy pride, and one love.